Steve Show. The Mike Time Steve Show.
That's pretty cool.
Welcome to the Mike Time Steve Show. This week we're coming to you live from Nick's Roast Beef in Philadelphia. And this week, Mike Time Steve equals...
Sandwiches?
Roast beef sandwiches.
So we are here live in Philadelphia. It's great to be here.
It's pretty cool. It's pretty
Nick's
cool.
Roast Beef. Just want to thank you guys for having us. So a little bit about us too. Mike Time Steve is a podcast, sports podcast. We kind of go to all sports, not just baseball or one team. So you guys are going to be more than welcome to give your input on things, have us talk about a certain subject. Come out here and talk to us. We want as much interaction as possible.
So we got a couple things. Our street team captain, Josh, right there. Wave your hand. Could inform you if you got any questions about what we're doing up here. Obviously, we're just some guys trying to make something happen. But, we got a lot of stuff in store. So for $20, you get one of our T-shirts. We're going to give you a free shot to the bar and also a Frisbee for one of the kids. So it's kind of cool. But also we got segment takeovers, $5 minimum. For $1 a minute, we'll talk about whatever you want us to talk about. So it's pretty cool. And if you want to take one of our seats in, Josh could talk to you about that as well. So welcome. Thanks for being here. And let's go.
Yeah, it is great. And being here in the city of brotherly love, our intern, I don't know if you knew this, our intern Ryan here just took over for our old intern. But he's actually a big Eagles fan as well. So,
woo! Right.
And if you look over here to my left, you're going to see a ring. That's an authentic ring right there. That's a Super Bowl ring.
That's real.
That's right.
So we figure we bring that here to the home city.
He actually designed the Philly special, from what I heard. That's how he got that.
Yeah,
and I'm not talking about the sandwich.
That's a delicious sandwich. We're going to have that.
So I also want to bring this up a little bit too because this I was always a little interesting. Ryan, halfway through the year, is a Mets fan, right? So let's hear the boos. No boos.
I just saw somebody's head turn. Like I just saw that guy over there.
The other half, he's an Eagles fan.
He did the most evil head turn, like to the point where like he looked like who's that pitcher, that relief pitcher that used to do the.
I don't know his name, but it was something like that.
Bastardo, I think. Yes,
it came right
Bastardo.
at you. It was intense. We know that much.
Crazy, but that's what that guy just did when he heard you were a Met fan.
Yeah, I get that a lot.
Yeah, so he gets a little bit of both. So we have here to kind of support us. And I was brave enough to wear the orange and blue today.
He was. I went red for Tiger and for the fact out of respect to where we are. So, and that's the birthplace of America. That's Philadelphia. And it's a cool city. I spent most of my time here, so I'm happy.
Right, and right now, too, so if you guys have been paying attention at all to the fantasy football and power rankings, Philadelphia Eagles are number one right now in the power rankings for 2018. I mean, do you guys see a repeat happening?
You love the Philadelphia Eagles. Let me get a hell yeah.
And that's where you guys go, hell yeah, right back at us.
So, I mean, obviously, you guys are ranked number one, so I don't think you could say you're underdogs anymore, right, Ryan?
No, they're finally getting some respect. I mean, it's really about time.
Right.
Yeah, hungry dog does run the fastest.
It does. It does. I believe that. And the fact is,
and they're still hungry. They are still hungry.
Right.
Yeah, I don't think that hungry went away. It's kind of like me at 11 o'clock at night. I have a meal, and then I indulge a little bit, and I'm still hungry. I think that's how the Eagles are right now.
Yeah. Last year's Super Bowl was basically Chinese food. They ate it. They were full. Now they're hungry again about 15 minutes later.
One could argue, too, you have two of the best quarterbacks in the NFC East. You know what I mean? So
yeah, definitely. I'd say at least two of the top three. You
right.
maybe want to give Manning over Foles still. I can understand. I may not agree, but I can understand.
Yeah. I mean, they both kind of pulled off miracles, so I get that. I just got some looks from New York fans. It was very awkward, but yeah, no. I mean, think about it. They both beat Tom Brady. They both required... I mean, the Giants had some crazy helmet to football catch, right? And then you guys had the Philly special. So, I mean, they're both special moments. They're both going to be mentioned more than Tom Brady's championships are, so we could all applaud that, right? And the fact is, I don't know, it's kind of unbelievable. It's like something out of a movie, both case scenarios.
Absolutely, man. And
So-
they're number 1. Giants are 19. So if that makes you feel any better.
Right.
Well,
But our
if the
quarterback
Giants
thinks
wanna
our
be-
running back is cute. So
If the Giants want to be higher, maybe they could just win some games. That would help.
That'd be a
I
start.
don't think that's going to happen.
Kind of reverse it, like Missy Elliott, flip it and reverse it.
Yeah.
Get that 3-13 to 13-3.
Right.
I think that's so bad.
So let's talk about Carson Wentz. I mean, clearly,
Wentz.
is he going to start week 1? Does anybody know yet?
I mean, they haven't officially made a decision. I think he's going to start. I mean,
Makes sense.
he's looked great in practice.
Right.
I know it's practice. We're talking about practice.
Yeah, we are
But
talking about practice.
Allen Iverson's
he's
not
looked
happy
good.
right now.
And I just, barring any setbacks, I don't see any reason he doesn't start week 1.
Right.
Well, he's coming back from a torn ACL. I mean, that does take a long time to heal. I think he should be ready for opening kickoff.
Yeah.
But the question and the controversy is like after everything that happened with big blank Nick, I think that the quarterback could go either way. I would put Foles in there. I think he earned it, but
Right.
I mean, I'm also not the Eagles fan. You are, Ryan, so tell me.
So we got a lot of fun stuff going on right now, and I just want to point across our writer and a guy that helps us write the show is actually in the crowd with our multipliers. So he's going to chime in from time to time. His name's Corey. I want him to say hi before.
What's going on, everybody? What's going on? I have to say, I'm kind of enjoying the view right now.
Right.
I mean, the tablecloth, the background, you guys are looking pretty official.
It's pretty official.
Yeah,
So,
I like the backdrop.
Yeah, I mean, I got to say, I'm checking it out right now on the Facebook Live. It looks incredible.
yeah,
It looks absolutely incredible.
We look incredible because the Philly Banner Express. Philly Banner Express is ready to help you with the next printing project, whether it's something simple like a banner or something big like an event like this. And I'm going to share something personal about Philly Banner Express. My father passed away. I've been dealing with Philly Banner Express since I opened up the store that I run, and they did my wife's 30th birthday and stuff like that. So when they heard that my father passed away, they made sure that they sent photos of my dad and my family signed from my employees and stuff like that. So not only are they just good-hearted people, they really do a good job. I mean, we look more official. I just sent the owner of the company our backdrop and all this other stuff, and he was just blown away by it. So when he did this as a favor to the show and to me, but he was beyond impressed. So thank you, Philly Banner Express. It means the world to me, so I just wanted to share that with you guys. And that's pretty much it.
Yeah, I mean, if you want it to look anything like what we have going on here, I think you should call Philly Banner Express. I'm just saying. I mean, if you don't want it to look good, then maybe call someone else.
That's the truth. I mean, we've had that situation before when we needed something in a pinch, and it was blurry, and Philly Banner Express really hooked us up.
They
So
came
thank you.
through.
Thank you, Clarence.
They really did come through. And then also, too, so, look, we want to talk about the Phillies a little bit here because as the Eagles are ranked number 1, the Philadelphia Phillies, they're second in the National League right now, their record.
Right.
And their ranking right now is 11. So what's up with that? How are you going to be ranked 11th?
And I
then
also
second
think
best?
they've spent more days in first than any other team in the NFC. Oh my God, NL East.
Yeah, it's tough to switch sports.
Football on the brain.
Definitely got the football on the brain there.
Really do.
But what a huge surprise they've been. I mean, they've came, out of nowhere to start the season because I don't think anyone picked them as the number 1.
I mean, they were booed. Their manager was booed on his way in his first game in Philadelphia, and rightfully so. I mean, they were just not putting it together. But man, has it changed since opening day?
Oh, absolutely,
Yeah.
man. 100%.
And they just got Justin Bohr.
Yeah, so I mean, with Justin Bohr though, he's a predominantly good hitter. I mean, he's a hitter all the way. He's not really known for his fielding so much, but you got to have him in that lineup. It would be interesting to me to see how they would handle the situation with Carlos Santana because they are paying him a boatload of money.
Yeah, it's weird. I don't understand it. I was like, is this guy just going to come off the bench? Or are they going to platoon? And it was $20 million. I mean, Santana was very lucky that he actually signed early. Like the Phillies jumped on him, and he got paid, unlike anybody else. He got paid for what he was doing. So it's kind of exciting for the Philly situation for them to have two different type of first basemen.
Yeah, and I mean they've pretty much came out and said they're going to use him as their weapon off the bench. I mean that's a pretty powerful weapon off the bench.
That's a extremely powerful, and I think he's controlled to next year. Mm-hmm. So it's just crazy. I'm happy for them, and I hope that it helps them kind of. I'm rooting for them. They got Cabrera from us, so
Oh yeah, ASCAB as we know him. AS is short for Asdrubal Cabrera.
Right.
But in any case, the Braves, who are actually behind the Phillies right now, they're ranked 10th. So it's kind of interesting how that works as far as the rankings go. It's kind of a blend between everything. So what I found out about it doing my research is I saw that it goes by your pitching ranking, your hitting ranking, your fielding, all kind of mixed together, not so much your record.
Right.
So that's what makes that happen. So where you fall on that table kind of just matters what.
I guess. I don't know, man. Like, I don't know how ESPN and Reese Hoskins said it the best. He was like, look, like the last time Philadelphia, somebody doubted Philadelphia, we proved the world wrong. So, he wrote hashtag Hungry Dogs.
I'm going to take a second to talk to you about underdogs. And you know what underdogs is? It's a hungry dog.
Right. So hashtag Hungry Dogs. So I'm not going to bet against any Philadelphia team because the fact is the Flyers were in the playoffs. The Sixers had an amazing run, and they're going to continue to have that. And then also, like, the Phillies are playing out of their wits right now. It's just unbelievable. And, the Eagles are the Eagles. Mm-hmm. So,
yeah, the Eagles will keep on flying. They're going to continue to soar.
Fly, Eagles, fly.
There's no doubt in my mind that they will. So, look, if you're on any social media right now, do me a favor. Do a little hashtag Mike Time Steve or hashtag multiplier or do hashtag Hungry Dogs.
Right.
Because I think we're all hungry out here.
We are.
We get some sandwiches coming up in a little bit.
We just had a message change, and I'm pretty proud of him. So, listen, our writer just handed me some up-to-date golf PGA championship. So it looks like Tiger Woods took second at -14. So question is he back? I mean, this is the second time on a Sunday that we're talking about Tiger Woods. What do you guys think?
I think it's awesome to have him back in there. I mean, it's really cool to have a guy that I remember from my childhood back playing golf, and being successful as well.
Look,
too.
and like when there's just like, I was watching it unfold, and I was just like, this guy, it's like watching a lion about to eat its prey. Like, these guys were scared. Hashtag working out. Yeah, we work out. All right, that's our new message.
Whoever put that up, raise your hand. That's awesome.
Yeah, raise your hand. That was pretty cool.
That's awesome.
Good
job, man.
Thank you. That's awesome. Thank you.
Yeah, so you can put whatever you want on here. I mean,
that's
reasonably speaking.
And you know who's working out? Tiger Woods. Because honestly, the people that are competing against Tiger Woods, he invented. It's just like Jordan, like all these other guys that are now performing like Jordan did. Tiger Woods was the first guy that was like, oh, I'm going to be athletic and play golf. Before that, like, honestly, it was white, in my eyes, white middle-aged men that were fat that couldn't play any other sport. Mm-hmm. And then Tiger Woods came about, and now he's an athlete. Am I right? Anybody disagree with me? He's an athlete, and he's doing his thing, and now he's got, like, his own competition because of it. So you look around, now they're all jacked up, and they're playing golf, and they're athletes, and thank you, Tiger Woods. You're the Michael Jordan
I mean,
of
when
that.
you really think about it, how many of these players probably grew up watching Tiger and started playing golf maybe because of him. And now they're playing against him. That's,
man. And
that's got to be an incredible feeling.
If you don't like Tiger Woods, like, I don't know what to tell you. Like, you're just not. I don't know. But I don't watch golf, but I watch Tiger Woods.
Yeah, he definitely set the bar for getting more athletic, looking in better shape too.
Yeah.
And who'd you mention? Daly before as an example?
So he was a big dude. Yeah. So
you look at him, you're like,
that
that's
persona.
not an athlete.
Like, I think
he took the Babe Ruth approach to playing golf.
He did.
I'm pretty sure.
He absolutely did.
I mean,
so,
but if you look at it, it shows. I mean, if you see it We were watching a little bit before we left the house.
Right.
And, you have Brooks Koepka, who's been in the leaderboard. He's been in the lead the whole day.
Right.
And there's maybe 5-6 people on the putting green watching him putt. And this guy's been winning. And then they camera shot the Tiger.
It's like a wave
and
of people.
You can't find a space.
No.
So it doesn't matter. I mean, he's just that presence.
You could tell it.
There.
I think that fact that so many people follow him, that it cost him a couple strokes too, Tiger, because like that plays into it. I mean, but the other thing is, if Tiger's behind me, I'm scared. You know what? So it goes both ways a little bit. So that's it. I just had to. Our show writer Corey handed me a note, and I was like, we got to definitely talk about that because now it's final. So, congrats, Tiger. That's your top 5 finish in a month. So that's
absolutely.
awesome.
Yeah, I mean, look. We have other stuff going on too right now in August. We have Little League World Series coming up. Me personally, I'm from Toms River, New Jersey. I still remember the Todd Frazier doing that, so that means something to me. But in any case, with Little League, it's awesome to see these guys playing their hearts out there. They're not playing for money. They're not overpaid. They're just playing the game with the passion that they have, and and to see. Us now we have a game coming up with, and I say us, I mean the Mets. Sorry, guys. But the Mets have a game against the Phillies coming up in the Little League field. And it's going to be more of a bandbox than Citizens Bank, I think.
It's crazy, right?
It's going to be flying out of there.
So there was a time when I was in middle school, and we went back to a minor league field, and I felt like Jose Canseco, like with the needle still in my arm, going like just hitting bombs. Like it was awesome. Like my buddy Will's in the crowd, and like he's what I think I am when I play baseball or even slow pitch softball. Like this dude it looks like he's holding a toothpick and he just hits home runs over the fence, and like all the girls swung. And like that's the persona I kind of act when I'm talking about Mike Powers as the baseball player. But yeah, the only time that ever happened in my life was when I went back onto a Little League field and my car was throwing 45 miles an hour into it, and I'm just grooving him over the fence, and I felt like Barry Bonds, baby. So, and he got his number retired.
Chicks dig the long
today.
ball too.
Oh,
Chicks
man,
definitely dig the long ball.
And chicks dig Will. So that's the truth. So good for you, Will. You're what I always wanted to be. So.
So I didn't know Will over there is hitting home runs on a regular.
Oh my God, dude!
Are you still doing it, Will?
To the point where we have to tell him sometimes not to hit a home run because we only get like 4 a game, right, Will? Like maybe 3 or something. So you actually have to tell him to tone it down, and he's like, "Oh, I guess so. I'll just hit a double to right."
Hi, my name's Alfred D'Elia. At home, they call me Big Al, and I hit dingers.
Yeah, so Big Al does hit some dingers. If you have not seen this kid, he's from Middletown, New Jersey. He's my spirit animal, just like I just said about Will, but kid hits dingers. So God bless him. Hopefully we'll have him on the show since he's so local. And that's just a cool thing.
Right? And he's all power. I mean, have you looked at this kid? He's all power. And he knows it.
So I'm on a text with all my brothers, and they mentioned that they look like our show writer, Corey. Big Al looks like Big Corey. And honestly, if you ever saw a picture of Corey, though, Big Al, you're going to look amazing at one point in your life.
We got to do a side-by-side with the two of them.
Yeah.
I don't know about that, guys.
Yeah, we got to get your permission, but then again, maybe not. We'll just do it anyway.
We're going to do it. But Big Al, you look exactly like our show writer. So hopefully we'll meet you one day. We're proud of you. Good job. Keep it up.
Did you guys hear about the other player intro story in the Little League World Series?
No.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah, no, apparently there was a player who was spreading around the internet that his favorite actor was Johnny Sins. You can imagine who that might be.
By the name, it sounds like some sort of film star.
I mean, it sounds like he's not in heaven. Maybe he's in Sin City, but,
There's a whole lot of sinning going on.
Yeah, and that's weird for, I'm not, look, to each his own.
Well, no, I will say, in the kid's defense, it came out that it was a Photoshop from Twitter.
Was it?
Yeah,
it's
so
fake.
he didn't really say it.
They took it down, real quick, so.
Yeah, I mean, that kid probably started getting phone calls. His parents probably started getting phone calls.
Oh, my God, yeah, because it would be weird. Like, if you said a female in that profession, I could understand it, like a female porno person. But
Like
she said
all
a
his
male.
friends probably stopped being allowed to go over his house.
Right. So that's it. I don't know. That was.
Would that be someone that you would look up to?
It could be.
I mean,
don't know.
I would look up to him.
Maybe he's got big dreams.
Right.
You better believe it. He's got other kind of dreams too, I'm sure.
So we talked about the underdogs and top dogs. Top dogs being the Eagles, the underdogs being the Phillies, apparently. But I don't think they're underdogs, but whatever. So we're going to talk about the Ducks. So everybody here, have you ever heard of the Mighty Ducks, right? So, all right, yeah, cool, right? So Sean Weiss, he played Goldberg. Do you know about this? Yeah, well, he was just arrested, and his mugshot looks like he's 80 years old.
At least 80.
Yeah,
At
he's
least.
38. To give you an idea, I'm 33, so he's 5 years older than me, and he looks like he's 80 years old.
It could have been a
And,
misprint, though. It could have been like 83.
So
and
the-
it's a 38.
The 38-year-old was picked up for public intoxication on Saturday around 1 a.m. This isn't the first time the former child star was arrested. Last year, he was arrested for possession of meth. That arrest,
Hashtag sports ball.
yeah, that arrest came 5 days.
It wasn't me.
Yeah, we smell something, and it's not pretty.
Yeah, it was
so
alcohol.
The arrest came 5 days after he was sentenced to 150 days in jail for stealing $150 worth of electronics. Here's the thing, and this is the disappointing. I missed an opportunity. If Goldberg needed $150 worth of electronics, he knew who to talk to in Philadelphia. So I would have definitely given him $150 worth of electronics to have him sit right here and be a special guest. So, I mean, shame on you, Goldberg.
I don't know. Do you really want him here if he's going to steal $150 worth of electronics? You might be missing some microphones
Look,
afterwards.
man, like I paid more for less, you know.
But what if he got a good deal? If he got a really good deal, he might not need to steal.
Yeah, these shots and T-shirts cost us way more than that. So, it's crazy. The one thing I would say is, we all grew up watching the Mighty Ducks. It's not nearly as good as The Sandlot, but it's a good movie. Corey? No? Yeah?
What's up, Mikey?
So I was just saying that The Sandlot was clearly a better movie than the Mighty Ducks.
Man, I mean, that's kind of tough. That's kind of tough. Did the kids from Sandlot ever go and play for Team USA?
So that's the thing. The kids from Sandlot didn't need a sequel. And also, they didn't need a coach that was charged with a DUI and got off, and all they had to do was take some roughneck hockey players and make them famous.
You say that now, but the other week you were referencing Hardball with Keanu
Right.
Reeves, a degenerate gambler,
Yeah,
coaching all these
you're
little
right.
league
All
kids.
right.
He had no problem with
See,
that
this
at
is
all.
what happens when you try to argue with the guy who writes the show.
just a thought though. Maybe they should give him an eye for an eye and make Goldberg coach
Where-
a little hockey team.
Hear me out. Mighty Ducks 4. Hear me out. Mighty Ducks 4. Coach Bombay is a prison guard now, right?
He goes from lawyer to prison guard?
Yeah, he's a prison guard
And
now.
who does he see?
And
Coming
yeah,
walking
so
in.
it's like The Longest Yard, but hockey edition.
See, that's what he does. He
That's what he
defends
does.
Goldberg in court,
Yes.
loses as a lawyer, and then
Right.
gets hired as a prison guard.
and then they
Perfect.
make a jail hockey team,
Look,
and they
I
do
think
the flying
I think
V.
I saw him
Sure,
in prison.
yeah.
I think it was Orange is the New Black. I think it's in the new season. I'm not sure.
Well, like green is the new black because it's green and black, right? Green, black, and yellow, Mighty Ducks.
So yeah,
So that's the new show.
I
there.
think we're on to
Orange is
something
the new
here.
quack.
Yeah, and that's the other thing with child actors in general. Like, dude, you peaked when you were like 12. I don't blame you for like having your life all mixed up.
I mean, he was a
you know?
backup goaltender. Something was going to happen.
After
I mean,
the
let's be
second movie,
real.
you're right. Yeah, they replaced him with the chick, right?
So we're going to wrap up this segment of things right now. Don't go anywhere because we are going to come back. So far, it's been great. You guys have been great so far, with the
Awesome.
interaction and putting stuff on the board and me trying to figure out what you're putting on the board. It's been working real well. So we will be back. We'll have a couple more.
Right.
And so far, it's been awesome.
You got to give us a shot. $20, guys. You go home with the T-shirt. You could share it with your friends, whatever. We're gonna give you a shot to the bar.
You gotta give us a shot.
And also, you're gonna get a Frisbee for the kids or the dog or whatever. Hunger dogs.
Yeah.
Bet you are.
I mean, if he's hungry, he's going to run real fast to get
That's
that
it.
Frisbee.
Come see Josh if you have any questions. If you want a shout out, we'll do it. if you want to sit up here, you can do that too. You want to do a better job than us? That's cool. We just only bought the equipment and did this. So it's cool if you just want to freeload and do it. But we're all about it. Like, you want to take Steve's spot? You want to take Mike's spot? I don't care.
That sounds like a challenge to me.
Like, let me go sit with my guys, my multipliers. I'll take it. I'll take some time off. So we'll be back.
We'll be back, guys.
The Mike Times Steve Show. The Mike Times Steve Show.
You want to talk about underdog? You want to talk about a hungry dog? For 52 years, you've been starved in this championship. Everybody wonders why we're so mean. Everybody wonders why the Philadelphia Eagles aren't the nicest fans. If I don't eat breakfast, I'm fucking pissed off.
Mike Times Steve Show. The Mike Times Steve Show. Whoa!
You know what?
That gets me so amped, man.
I could relate with him though, like, because if I don't eat breakfast, you could ask my wife in the front row. I get pissed off.
Yeah, it's like the Snickers commercial.
I'm not gonna. I get hangry. Yeah, Timmy could tell you. We walked into another place and I asked them if they were short staffed once, and right, because I was hangry as a mofo. So. Josh, our street team guy, he's moving the board around, so I don't even know what he's doing now. He's all excited. He's just moving his things.
He's just ready for the next person to come up and put whatever they want on there.
So it's hashtag. We'll wait. But,
It's a hashtag whatever you want.
yeah, look. So thanks to Minnie from Manhasset. Vinny from Manhasset, right? Am I saying that right? My God.
Hashtag Space Force.
My God. You could feel like if this table was divided, it's not even funny. Here's what I would say is Donald Trump, right? Mr. Trump said that he's going to build Space Force and have Mars pay for it.
I already volunteered because I want to go to space.
It would be cool, like lasers and stuff like that coming at you. Pew, pew, pew. Like, look,
You can travel at ludicrous speed.
But listen, so we do a sandwich of the week, and obviously we're at Nick's Roast Beef. They're world famous. An amazing place since 1969.
Yeah, and they got the best French fries in Philadelphia.
They do. And
We
we're
have a
going
lot
to
of-
try those later.
A lot of competition. I mean,
Yeah.
McDonald's is a big competition with their French fries, but I think that I heard they're better.
Right,
They use more
right.
seasoning, and
I think McDonald's is like after Nick's closes and you're just still need that food to fill you up. I'll go with that French fry. But
I mean, by the
Niecy, we love her. I love Niecy. There's no doubt in my mind
Niecy?
that I love Niecy.
Niecy, is that you over there?
Niecy is the heart.
Love you, Niecy.
Niecy is the heart and soul of the company I work for. Honestly, like, she keeps my guys in line. They know that. And she keeps me calm. So she is 100% hashtag my work wife, I would say. She's always keeping me smiling. She's telling me that I do the right thing. Yeah, my wife's now giving her air fives. And, like, honestly, I would have died of a heart attack probably 2 years ago if it wasn't for Niecy. And I think most of my guys wouldn't work for the company if it wasn't for Niecy. So, everybody, round of applause for Niecy.
Give it up.
Yeah.
And Niecy, just so you know, I think I'm going to call you every single time that I start feeling nervous about
Well,
anything.
the funny thing-
because I need that calming factor.
Most of my people know her, like, because every time you buy something from me, Yeah, I'm not calling you. Who's calling? Nisi's calling,
Nisi's
right?
calling.
Yeah, so I do appreciate her. She's always got my back, and I love you, Nisi.
Yeah, let's talk about how Penn State coach over here. He took a pounding from Penn State,
Yeah.
right? And you're gonna think, oh, what is this guy talking about? What I mean about a pounding is it's nothing bad.
Right.
It's just paintball. So he played some paintball, and if anyone's ever played paintball before, that hurts.
He did, yeah.
And it's like it's a deterrent from standing in the way of a paintball because
Right.
you want to get the heck out of Dodge.
No,
when
without
you're,
a doubt.
When you're getting shoot by a paintball gun, and he has the bruises to show it,
So
and it's all over his body.
yeah. So the funny part was he's at a press conference and he's like, "Look, like I try to motivate my team. We've gone bowling and we got amped up from bowling. We've gone laser tagging, and me and one of the sales guys, we hit each other like at a rate that you couldn't imagine, and we fell to the floor. And I thought one of us was dead. I was like, I broke my collarbone. This is cool. And we got up and we're like, this is awesome. Well, yeah. The reason why, and any of my employees out there, the reason why we will never paintball is because look up what happened to the Penn State coach. He's got bruises on his neck, bruises on his chest, bruises on his behind that he showed to the press. So here's the thing. Penn State loses a game. The team they're playing against is going to use that as the biggest meme you've ever seen in your life. Like, college football is no joke when it comes to memes and it comes to, like, blow-up pictures. They're going to
Game
blow
day signs and all that.
Yes, yeah. So hashtag, are you ready for some football? Somebody paid for that to be on our board. He's just going nuts right now, Josh.
I'm
He's
so
like,
ready for football right now.
yeah, I'm ready for some football.
I mean, my baseball
So-
season ended. Corey, yours hasn't really began yet, right? Because you're a Yankee fan. Yours starts in October.
Yeah, I really do. I think it's great because we both get a peaceful sleep at night. You knowing the Mets will never make the playoffs, and me just knowing that the Yankees are going to be in one way or another. So
That's good. I like that comeback, man. But yeah, so Corey's going to start watching in October, as most Yankee fans do, and that's
Right.
okay because if my team made the playoffs every year, I'd probably do the same thing.
Yeah. So while we were researching this, and I always end up going down one of these rabbit holes, whether it be the hot dog lunch or whatever. So the paintball guy, I noticed there was another incident with paintballs, and I was like trying to figure out what happened. So there was a guy who, in the second story window of his home, decided he was going to be naked and doing something very inappropriate that, let's call it a solo.
Yeah.
So he was doing something as a solo.
They call it dolo now.
So instead of the cops like knocking down his house and like going into that, they took it a step further. They just waited outside with a giant paintball gun. And when this guy was yelling, oh, and doing whatever he's doing to himself, they just lit his you-know-what up with paintballs to the point where you hear him screaming, ow, 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 ow. So you got to watch this. It's the funniest thing I've ever seen in my
You couldn't tell if he was finishing or if he was getting hit by a paintball gun.
So
It was pretty close. I mean,
pretty
both
bad.
sounded very similar.
It was bad. So, like, yeah. So when you're trying to research some of this stuff, you find crazier stuff. So, that's
Absolutely.
pretty
I'm
much
never
it.
playing paintball unless it's against you, Mike. Because if you're the boss in the situation and that was the result with the Penn State coach, then
Right,
obviously
right.
you lose.
No,
because
yeah,
everyone's on
that's-
you.
That's what's crazy, and like, I mean, it's thank God he went through that, so I don't have to. Hashtag claw games. Claw game to your right. Here's the thing: I spent way too much money at Nick's Roast Beef at that claw game. I'm embarrassed to say that. My wife would probably divorce me if she knew how much money we spent. But
The
we
papers
win.
are in. The
So,
papers are in.
Nick's Roast Beef, if you're here, you're going to win at that claw game. So I don't know if that was like a taunt, too, like for me to leave my table, because everybody knows I'm addicted to claw games. So if I go over there, like, you're not going to have it's going to be the Steve show.
Well, Mike, I don't know if you actually know this. I used to build those things.
Really?
Yeah, I used
I
to have a
didn't
job
know
building
that.
those things.
Wow, man, you really.
It's a scam. It's rigged.
Yeah,
It's rigged.
don't tell me.
I'm going to come out and say it. If you guys want to hear some truth. Now, Ryan over here, our intern, he used to work for a company that designed them, but they were actually like the mob. Like, let's be honest, that was a front. It really wasn't just building
was a front.
claws. You know, it was these
What?
claws were to
You mean
dig
to
out
tell
holes.
me there's no money in those claw games?
Right.
Oh yeah, there's money. They were using those claws to dig up the, for the bodies.
The funniest thing about it is he started from the top. Now he's here.
Yeah.
So yeah,
How the mighty have fallen.
Omarosa. Oh
Hashtag
my
Omarosa.
God, that had to be Sean.
So
Like
who-
Sean's just bootlegging this stuff. Right
Sean,
now.
is that
Like,
you?
He's trying to. Hashtag Omarosa. Yeah, like
Where's she at? Is she here?
she wrote
Omarosa.
she wrote a book. Thank God Josh already erased it, so we don't have to spend that much time on it. But yeah, Omarosa wrote a book about her ex boss, who happens to be the president of the United States.
Give it up, America.
Right? So I thought it was you, bro. That wasn't you. Somebody else is trying to sandbag me in my first live event. Like, this is Mike's first live and last event because he lost half of his viewership because somebody said hashtag Omarosa. Like, I like Omarosa. Like,
That sounds like a fine wine.
Yeah.
You know, if I'm going to go to the store and I'm going to go to like Easy Liquors or something, I'm like, let me get some Omarosa.
Well, last week we had one of our callers try to sabotage us, so I mean, it's only fitting.
Man, you guys got to hear about this. So,
Oh, my God.
Usually when we do get callers, we
Jeez
have an idea
Louise.
of who they are.
Right.
So this caller calls in from God knows where,
Yeah.
and she's like, "Am I on the air?" I'm like, "Yes, you're on the air." And she wished that a plane went through her studio. I swear to you, I'm not lying to you. She goes, "I have this idea. I hope that someone gets a giant plane and runs it right through your studio and all through your workplace." And it got really dark, like really quick. And I was like, "What the heck is going on right now?" I know Mike was as perplexed as I was.
Yeah.
But you know what I'm perplexed about is this stage. This stage is awesome.
Right.
If you want to make it look anything like this, you got to go to Philly Banner Express.
Right.
Check these guys out. They do it right. You know what I mean? If you have a company, if you have a party going on, whatever it is, you make sure you call them because they're going to do it right. They got exhibits, they got trade show signs, menu boards, floor graphics, everything under the sun.
Right.
You name it, they'll make it happen.
Yep.
They're kind of like us, you know. They'll improv it until they get it right.
They'll make it happen. So hashtag Gabe Kapler, manager of the year. Yes, without a doubt. I mean, let's go Phillies, right?
But doesn't he have to?
Yeah.
Hold on a second. Hold on before you get too excited. He has to win something first, though. I mean, look,
Yeah.
they're doing great. They're doing better.
Look,
They're
yeah.
beyond expectations right
I
now.
agree.
But let's be honest. You were trying to murder that guy the first couple of the days of the season.
I'm just trying to sell some shirts, bro. Like, so, like,
No, but for real,
Right,
he's doing
right.
a great job.
Yeah.
He probably will win manager of the year. It's the whole team that puts in the effort.
it really is, yeah.
Not
Like,
just Gabe Kapler.
Well, yeah, like look at like if you go the first 10 games, like you think Callaway is the second coming of you know what,
Right, you
and,
would.
You think that Kapler is going to be in the trash by next week, and that's just baseball for you, man. You can't get wrapped into it. The hype, our diehard orange and blue guys that live and die by this show. We're like, oh, I love the Mets. I love the Mets. Well, then the Nats came into town. We were up by like 5 runs, and we gave it up all in one inning, and we haven't won since. So, you know, when you look at the Phillies, like, yeah, it was tough that first week, but now it's smooth sailing, baby, because it's easy.
Hey,
like
guys, going
Sunday
back to our last
morning.
sponsor, I was told if you go into Philly Banner Express and you mention the Mike and Steve show, the Mike Time Steve show, they will give you a discount.
I want that discount.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding.
I still
Thank
haven't
you.
got one discount since I started.
Yeah, so go in there, mention our show, and I'm telling you, call them, whatever. Like they adapt to whatever. My like I said, my father passed away. They made sure that these signs made it to Barnegat, New Jersey. So that's nowhere near Philadelphia, and they made sure that it was delivered there, taken care of. They are a true to the grit, family-operated company that cares about their people. So thank you, Philly Banner.
Oh, absolutely.
Philly
They're doing a
Banner
great
Express.
job.
Yeah.
Okay, so good riddance, hashtag good riddance, early departures. Met season over? Yes.
Yes, it is. It's over.
I think it ended in May.
It's been over.
It's been
Yeah.
over. Like spring training, I think I was like, yeah, we got a shot. This team, Cespedes said, this team right here, this team right here.
It's going to get more injured than the 2015
yeah,
team.
Right. David Wright will play before Cespedes, and that's
Yeah.
just mind-boggling.
So, I mean, we have a spineless third baseman.
So we did
Literally.
not eat our sandwich of the week. So it's the Philly special. It's from Nick's Roast Beef. And if you're in here right now and you're like, I don't know what to eat the Philly special because like I feel like they're hitting your heartstrings. They know that you're a Philly Eagles fan, and they want you to eat it. So it's got pork roll, which is a New Jersey thing.
Mm-hmm.
It's got the roast beef. It's got like some cheese on it, and it's delicious.
Did we
And
still call it pork roll out here in Philadelphia?
What is it with your
It's pork roll?
fixes?
Okay, good.
Sandwiches.
I just call it sandwiches.
Okay,
It's
make me
also
some
got
sandwiches.
broccoli rabe on it. So thank you. I saw a writer like.
Wow, that's what that is?
I saw Corey, our writer, like starting to cringe, like you forgot one of the ingredients. Like he was
You know,
getting
look,
mad.
that's only because during the 5-minute warning, I just had to devour it. I didn't eat anything all day, and it was just as delicious as the face that you're making right now, Mike.
I mean,
It's
if I do
amazing.
say, because I know I was very, very nervous when the actual Philly special was about to come out. I was very nervous. I am not nervous at all about this sandwich. I am very excited about it.
It's like you're tasting victory. Like, I don't know. It's
So-
good. You got to admit that.
Being a New York sports fan recently, I haven't actually experienced victory, but chewing into the sandwich right now, I know what it feels like. I know what it feels. I'm a new man all of a sudden. Let's Damn, this is good. This is really good.
Sandwiches?
Oh my God.
I would say, okay, hashtag who says brother more, Sean Simmons or Hulk Hogan? I mean, I don't think Hulk Hogan says brother. He says brother. So it's a little bit different.
Right. One's an amazing guy. The other one's a piece of shit. Sorry, I promised myself I wasn't going to curse.
Geez
And
Louise.
Sean Simmons is that amazing guy. He's a guy that will do anything for you. Hulk Hogan is Hulk Hogan, but whatever. So when Sean says it, he means that it's your family and he loves you. When Hulk Hogan says it, he's just a persona. So I hope Sean says it more because it means he cares about me more. So that's it.
You want to know another hashtag? Hashtag napkins. I could really use some napkins
Hashtag
right now.
napkins, yeah.
This-
You or anybody who you know.
Because there's so much flavor in this sandwich right now, my hands, they pay the price.
They do.
But look, let's talk about, Incognito here. So Richie Incognito claimed in a recent interview that the Vikings had called and showed interest in signing him. So when we asked for a comment from him, the Vikings had responded, "What?" So is that true? I mean, is this actually happen, or is he just reaching out? He's like, all right, if I say this, that means that somebody's going to be interested in me soon.
All right. It's kind of like when you double down, like in high school, and you're like, yeah, that girl asked me out. I told her no, though. Like, you know what I mean? That's what Richie did, and he got blown up on social media, and they're like, nah, bro, we didn't call you. That's exactly what happened.
Well,
So
all the things Richie Incognito has done in his career sound like a 13-year-old anyway.
Yeah, so
Between the bullying and all the nonsense.
He showed up a bit incognito too. Like he showed up with the sunglasses and then the extra mustache. I mean, he kind of looked like Bobby Valentine,
He
like
did,
circa
he did.
1999.
yeah, he did. After getting kicked out of a game, Bobby V just shows up with glasses and a mustache, and that's Richie right there.
Bet you didn't know that. Also,
Yeah.
too, I want to just talk about R&R produce again. Look, fresh produce, fresh flowers, for that special somebody. Roses, if it's Valentine's Day and you're like, where do I go? What do I do? I don't want to sit in that line. Well, go to R&R. They'll hook you up. I mean, hanging baskets, fall mums, pumpkins, Christmas trees, wreaths, blankets.
Right.
You name it. They
And the
have
stuff
it.
lasts too. Like it's not something that you're like, oh, I gotta, the flowers are gonna be dead before I get them home. Like this is genuine stuff, fresh from the farm to their location daily. So, if you're going to those POS markets and you're not happy, whether it be those superstores, well, that's why you need to go local. You need to go where the pros go, and that's R&R Produce. They know what needs to be done in order to get you fresh produce into your home at a low rate.
We got another one, too. Wait, you take this one because I don't remember how to say it.
Magali
Magali
Spa. Magali Spa.
Hashtag Megala Spa.
Yeah.
Look, Magali Spa, man. If you're feeling stressed out, you want to relax, go there.
I guess we're just assuming it's a spa. They are not a sponsor. They just keep taking our message board, and we appreciate that. So, Magali Spa, thank you.
Magali, please come up to the microphone and let us know where you're located. Let us know. Let
Yeah.
people on the air know so they can hear it.
Right.
Let us know who you are. I mean, I want to put a name to the face,
So back to this Richie Incognito. So like he went to Facebook and he told the Vikings that they were effing liars. But the only person lying, it seems to be, is him. Incognito has played in the NFL for 13 years with the Rams, Dolphins, and Bills. Incognito has retired and come out of retirement since the season ended last year.
Yeah,
His-
I mean,
So he's the new Brett Favre then.
right.
Kind of.
he's not
He just
Brett
acts a little
Favre.
different during massages, I guess. I mean, look, the crazy thing about Incognito is his history, And B, in the recent press conference, he said all these things like no one was going to fact check him. And like you said, like a guy being asked to the prom, like, oh, no, I got plenty of options. I'll go with so-and-so.
Right.
You know, they called his bluff. Zimmerman, the head coach from Minnesota, basically said, no, we're not calling him. We don't want to talk to him. We want nothing to do with him. And then they had a Twitter war kind of back and forth. You know, Zimmerman said no. And Incognito basically said he called him a liar. You're an effing liar, right? And then, you know, later apologized. But it's crazy. In the offseason, he's retired. He comes out of retirement. He had an incident at, you know, a gym. I can only imagine it was Planet Fitness. Maybe the same Planet Fitness that had the naked guy. Maybe he is the naked guy. Who knows?
I think he is the naked guy.
But freaking out on people, I mean, he's just a head case right now. He's acting exactly how we would imagine Richie Incognito would act.
Right.
Yeah, and so you guys that don't know what happened at Planet Fitness, so someone was working out naked there and just kind of left their clothes at their front desk. I'll be honest with you, I have a membership at Planet Fitness. I tried doing the very same thing. It didn't work out so well for me too.
It did.
They're like, look, you can't just leave your clothes here, okay? This isn't a laundromat.
Look, where are we going to put the Tootsie Rolls if you have your clothes right on the front desk?
Bye, Niecy, I love you.
There's plenty of places you can put a Tootsie Roll in, you know, and Planet Fitness is not one of them. So, but, you know, like it's funny because they offer stuff like that isn't exactly healthy. They're like, here, have a Tootsie Roll before you work out. Have a piece of pizza. It's on us.
Judgment free.
Yeah,
It's
judgment
bizarre.
free.
Yeah.
That's how you keep repeat customers.
I guess.
Keep them fat, they'll keep coming back.
Well, we tried to give them out shots. You buy a shirt, you get a shot. $20. We're giving you a shot, a Frisbee, and a T-shirt. And it says you got to give us a shot.
You gotta give us a shot!
You come back to Nick's Roast Beef, they see you wearing this, they might give your whole crew a shot. It's a clever shirt.
And I'm just going to throw this out right now.
Right.
This Thursday, I will be at the Mets-Phillies game. If I see you wearing you got to give us a shot, I will buy you a drink.
Okay.
You heard it first right here.
You heard that's true. Hold them to it too. Like literally hold them to it. Like hold them up against the pole.
A
And be like,
$12
you
Citizens
said
Bank
this.
drink.
Right. It's $12 beer night.
That makes it a good deal.
Yeah.
It does.
Yeah.
So-
don't be ordering shots of Patron either.
Yeah.
Because he's an intern. Okay, he doesn't get paid very well.
Yeah, so guys,
You're not getting a shot, you're getting a beer.
This is some
Play about
housekeeping right here. This is a big deal. We're going to do the Mike Time Steve Fantasy Football League. The details follow. Like, we're going to, you go to the MikeXSteve.com. You join our league. It's $25. Mike, Steve, Ryan, Corey, and Ty have already put in their $25. So you go into here. We'll fill it. Maybe it'll be a 12-team league. Maybe it'll be a 14-team league. Maybe it'll be a 16-team league. But it's $25. It's a donation of $25. The winner gets a championship belt. Second place will get a prize. Third place will also get a prize. Not only are you supporting the Mike Time Steve show, but also you're going to be a part of our segments for the next 6 months, maybe 7 or 8. Who knows? But the fact is, during the whole fantasy season, you're going to have bragging rights if you beat one of us. It's going to be a fun situation. It's unbelievable. I'm excited. Are you excited?
I'm so excited.
Right.
And I just want to know what these prizes are too. So we got prizes included too.
Right. So
That's a surprise.
It varies right now. We're looking at certain situations where definitely it's going to be a trophy or a championship belt. As the league unfolds and as we get more multipliers to join the league, we're going to make decisions. But we've tossed around ideas of electronics. We've tossed around certain situations. So also like people who are live right now, we're giving away Fire Stick TVs tonight. So
Who wants a Fire Stick TV?
who wants a
Come
Fire
on.
Stick? Right.
Give it up.
So when Josh, who's working hard for your money right now, tells me that we hit a certain dollar amount, we're going to give one away. So once we hit that dollar amount, hopefully in segment 3 we'll do that, we're going to give away some Fire Stick TVs. So it's pretty exciting. But during the Mike Time Steve fantasy draft, we are going to give away some stuff, but it's to be determined. So what was that hashtag on the banner now?
I blew my draft.
Fantasy
Blank.
football. I blew my draft fantasy football advice. Well, we're going to get to that.
Let's help
yeah,
him.
let's help them. So, I mean, I don't know what you blew, but we're
Good
going to
thing
give
we
you
read
that
that right.
advice. Hopefully, you didn't go with a quarterback and you had the first pick. But
Yeah, that's always a bad idea. It's
Right.
always a bad idea.
yeah.
Tell us a little bit why. I mean, our intern over here, he has a little bit more experience than myself when it comes to fantasy selections. What would be your strategy to prevent yourself from blowing anything in the future?
I mean, quite frankly, in the first round, especially, you got to go with the best player available, whether it's a wide receiver, whether it's a running back. I mean, the quarterback, it's important, but you can draft a decent quarterback later. You need those receivers, you need those running backs, you need them stacked as much as possible.
So like Corey was saying, he would not go wide receiver until he definitely had 2 running backs, right?
No, God, no. I would always go wide receiver before I would pick at least 1 wide receiver before a running back.
Last year,
look,
DeAndre Hopkins pretty much saved my season last year.
And it depends on your league format, too. I mean, if you're a standard league that doesn't count a point per every reception, you might draft a little bit different than if you do have a point per reception league, which those of you that don't know, it's for any time someone catches the ball, doesn't matter how far they go, what the yardage is, for every time they catch it, you get 1 point.
Right.
And that varies from league to league. And I mean, the first thing to look at right off the bat would be your power rankings.
Right.
Who's going to be your powerhouse team, and then maybe try to draft some guys from that team.
It's going to be the Philadelphia Eagles, let's face it.
Yeah.
Giants 19. Giants are 19. Okay.
But what Eagles players are you really drafting at the top of the draft? There's probably no Eagles players going in the first round.
Right, I agree. Maybe Wentz.
Think about
but
it.
Not in
Not
the first
one.
round. Yeah, no.
No, I mean, maybe not necessarily in the first round, but I mean, you're going to have Ajayi is going to have a great season, assuming he stays healthy. You're going to want to draft him at least in the first couple rounds. Zach Ertz, he's going to be one of the better tight ends in the league.
Right.
It's not necessarily a first round pick, but I mean, unless it's Gronkowski or maybe Travis Kelce, you're gonna want to pick him up. He's going to have a huge year, monster year.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, you got Zach Ertz as a number 3 tight end. At least number 3 on the board. So
right.
Not a bad pickup. Definitely not for the first round, though.
No, tight end wouldn't go in the first round. I wouldn't suggest that at all.
So we're going to talk a little bit more in depth. We'll all go around. Steve's going to pick a quarterback. I'm going to pick a running back. Corey's going to pick a wide receiver. Ryan's going to go kicker and defensive special teams. And Ty, because you got such a nice tight end, you're going to go tight end. All right.
Oh, wow.
Woo! That just happened. I'm excited. Nisi's back.
It's
I
like
thought she left.
Saquon,
I was like
Saquon Barkley.
Yeah,
I heard
yeah.
he has a nice tight end, too.
he does. He does have a nice
According to
Peyton,
Eli Manning.
Eli Manning, yeah.
He did say that, folks.
That's pretty crazy. So,
well, when he gets sacked this year, we know why.
So, Regs is going to start with the quarterback, but the one thing I would tell you is, go ahead, go pick. So,
Okay, I'm gonna make it simple. Aaron Rodgers. That's my pick. The one that you told me, you told me not to do this. Pick the quarterback first, but I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna do it. I'm going against the grain.
Right.
I'm going Aaron Rodgers. That's my first pick.
That's a good pick as far as quarterback goes. I mean, he's old faithful as far as I'm concerned. He's around there. He's a worker. I don't think I would pick a quarterback that early in the draft to where Aaron Rodgers would fall to me. I don't know about you guys.
You know who I like a lot that I think you can wait a little bit, maybe wait a little bit depending on who's in your league, but Deshaun Watson, he's going to have a monster year, obviously, and he might not go right away. He might be picked the 3rd or 4th quarterback, but he could easily be the best quarterback this year, easily.
And and you know what? I mean, he's mobile and he's accurate. He's fast. I mean, he's almost like, I can't say a young Cam Newton because Cam Newton's still doing what Cam Newton does. But the two things you have to worry about with both Aaron Rodgers and Deshaun Watson is they're both coming back from some injuries. So that's always kind of a coin flip and something to take into account, that are they going to be the same as they were before? I mean, with those two, I think absolutely. You really have nothing to worry about.
Also, I really think at this point, Deshaun Watson has the better receiving core.
I'll agree with that.
I mean,
I'll agree with that.
So I'm going to go with our multiplier, Barry. He said Baker Mayfield has made 4 plays on this drive that are more impressive than anything Tom Brady ever has done. So I'm going to go Baker.
Yeah, I'm also going to say this. The Browns have gone 5-0 in their last 5 preseason games, and that does not translate to the right.
I think that holds some water. I think there's points to that because Tom Brady doesn't really play preseason games. So Baker Mayfield has done more than Tom Brady. That makes sense.
In preseason, but he has a whole bunch of Super Bowls.
Hold up a second, guys. Hold on. There's another one.
Okay.
We have hashtag face tattoos.
Hey, I appreciate face tattoos. I mean, if it's done right.
And it's right in your face. I mean, who's going to miss it?
Like Mike Tyson, like nobody's going to be like, yo, bro, what's up with your face? Like, no. Hey, Mike Tyson, nice to meet you. You're one of the world's greatest. I'm just flattered to see you. I'm not gonna look at your tattoo.
Thank you.
So Barry writes this. He's a multiplier about Baker Mayfield being better than Tom Brady. So Pedro, another multiplier, writes, yeah, but has he ever made out with his son? So, yeah, that's what we're dealing with on our social media. So it's true. Like Baker Mayfield's got a lot of.
It's a
like,
legitimate
shoes
question.
to fill. Yeah,
It's a legitimate question. I feel.
I think so.
Yeah. So that was pretty much it with my quarterback situation. So who's got running backs?
I think you, Mike.
Oh, that's me. It's like the Mike Time Steve show, and we get to go first. So.
Who would have thunk it?
Listen, so last year I went with David Johnson, and we all know how that ended up, right? Like, people are laughing because they know it's true. Like, I was between him and Bell. I had the first pick. The guy wanted Johnson that had the second pick, so in spite, I picked him, or something happened, and, right, Josh is saying, yeah, man, you did that. And it cost me a lot, so I'm not going to go with him. I'm going to go with... and they shouted, "Leave on Bell." So I'm going with Mr. Bell because he's going to ring my bell. Todd Gurley, although I think he's going to have a great year because, as a matter of fact, he changed the game as far as getting paid in his position, guaranteed money, I should say. But I think he's going to have a great year. But I messed this up once before by double downing and not going for Bell, so I'm going to go with Levon.
Yeah, I got to say,
Le'Veon
I
Bell.
picked Gurley one time in my fantasy league. It was his second year in the league. It did come back to burn me. So, it might be sour grapes, but...
Makes sense.
I mean, look, he's going to have a great year,
Right.
but he's also got a lot of pressure. I mean, he did get the money that he wanted, so he's actually getting paid, and he's got to live up to the hype now. So
Yeah,
we'll
I
see
mean,
what he does.
the Rams, that's a good team, though. That's a solid team
Oh, yeah.
all the way
So,
around.
so we're going wide receiver. I think that's Corey, if I remember.
Yeah,
right?
I mean, look, if we're talking first round, if I'm anywhere, let's just say if we're in a 12-team league, if I have, whether it's picks 1 through 6, I have to go Antonio Brown.
Okay.
I mean, how can you not? And it kind of seems, you said, Le'Veon Bell, we're going a little bit Steelers here, but the relationship he has with his quarterback, with Big Ben, I mean, it's undeniable. I feel like he throws it up, and no matter what happens, Antonio Brown's going to find him.
Right. I agree with that. That's a pretty good pick. I mean, there's Odell, who's hoping to have a breakout season. There's Julio Jones, who has been a fantasy phenom in my eyes.
You can say he struggled a little bit last year, but only because he struggled because he didn't perform to the Julio numbers that were expected. He still didn't do too bad, but I think Julio will come back this year strong. But I just think Antonio Brown, at this point, he's Old Faithful.
So in the area, we just got a new message on the message board here. We got hashtag good places /bars in Philly. Some suggestions here.
Nick's roast beef.
Yeah,
What do you think? Come
one
on.
and
Obviously,
only.
question. Don't leave. Stay
Obviously.
here and get some beer and drink some roast beef. Or eat some
Also,
roast beef.
Spruce Street Harbor, and then R&R.
But
why not R&R?
If
Get some
I'm
produce.
spending time, I'm going. I am going to Nick's roast beef. I mean, honestly, they renovated this whole place. You got pool tables, table tennis. This is the place you want to have your fantasy
Sandwiches?
draft. We are so amped up for our fantasy draft to be here. And it's just a cool environment. They got menus. If you just show up, they're gonna make a spot for you. This place is huge. I mean, they
made a spot for us.
4 different
Yeah,
rooms.
and
Yeah.
I just showed up. Like we didn't plan this. We just showed up, rolled in here, and I was like, "Guess what? We're doing a show here." They're like,
We
"Okay,
did-
that's
we-
cool."
One of our multipliers, Sean, actually negotiated the what out of us being here. So I love him for that. Hashtag he's my brother, right? And I love him. And thank you, Sean. So where are we?
Where are we
so
going now?
we
Tight
went
end?
wide receivers. We're going to go kickers and special team. I want to save the tight end for last. So give Ty some time because he's also got to actually produce this show. Give him some time. So
Yeah,
who are you
produce
picking
it.
as a kicker? Jesus.
So are we doing kicker separate from
Kicker
the
and
defense?
special teams, bro. Yeah.
I think I go Rachel Ray as a cooker. Right? Still.
No Wolfgang? I'm a Wolfgang guy.
I mean,
I like Kat Cora, even though like she had the DUI and stuff. Like she reminds me of my
It doesn't
wife.
take away from her cooking, though.
She ruined my body with her French press. It was terrible. We were in Disney in a restaurant that no longer is there. Thank God. I think we probably closed it. But with the Disney dining plan, and this is such a plug for one of the biggest. You don't need this plug, Disney. Why am I giving it to you? But the dining plan is the best thing to get in Disney World, right? So we had it. We all got a French press. We regretted it right after it. If you want to put your metabolism on 90 miles an hour, yeah, get a French press and just drink it yourself. And then go to Disney World. Yeah.
My Time Steve fantasy format. So really, how are we doing this? We have you pick 'em league. We have the suicide draft. Mike, you made these up. So I mean, what do you want to say?
It's going to be on NFL.com.
Right.
The league, the actual league, is going to be on NFL.com. We're shooting for 12 teams, but we'll see what happens.
We'll see what happens. We'll go 14. We'll go 16 if we have to.
PPR.
It's points per reception, right?
NFL standard is not points per reception.
Okay.
Or maybe it's half. I really don't know.
Our street team captain just like.
why don't you guys tell us how we should do it?
We can take a vote.
Yeah,
Once everybody's
we'll
registered, we'll
vote.
figure out what the majority wants.
Yeah, we don't care. Like,
We're getting the crowd here. What was that? PPR. He wants PPR.
PPR.
I
Right.
mean, look,
PPR.
it just changes the way you draft. I mean, and what's crazy now is in PPR leagues where you would go normally wide receiver heavy, there's a lot of running backs last year that took a lot of targets away from some of those wide receivers.
It's a passing league now. I mean, if you get that right running back to go along with a good possession receiver, you can tack on some points there.
Absolutely. I mean, even McCaffrey down in Carolina.
Exactly. He's
a
going to
lot
get
of targets.
a lot. Him and Le'Veon Bell. Le'Veon Bell gets tons of passes.
Todd Gurley even.
My thing with the PPR is you can get a 0 yard pass completion and get a point. To me, I don't know. I don't like it.
I know you get a point just for catching the ball.
Just for catching it? I mean,
you know who didn't get a point?
What was
you
a
know
screen?
who didn't get a point? Super Bowl Tom Brady didn't get a point. Catch the ball.
Steve and I just created a song. We're going to sing it, but for you to understand it, the times is obviously Ty. The X is because of Jamal, because he was always known as, right? Yeah.
T-Rex?
Just X. Jamal X.
I was going to say, he doesn't have small arms.
So the Mike Time Steve show is actually 3 people. It's Ty.
Ja Rule has small arms, not T-Rex.
So Steve and I were singing a song while Ryan and Corey were going at it. It's a Ryan Times Corey song.
They just hijacked it. That's
Yeah,
okay. That's why they're here. That's why I have
It's cool.
they
That's
have
awesome.
mics.
They're more informed than we are. So this is exciting, and that's
Not
why
hard to
we're
do.
here. But yeah, it is not hard.
You're fired.
You're fired. So kicker.
I'm not Dan Drysdale.
Who's your kicker? Ryan. Pay attention.
I mean, kicker. I'm paying attention. Are you paying attention?
You going Legatron?
You went full Legatron on them.
Yeah, pull Legatron. That's right. No, I mean, all seriousness. If I'm going to go with a kicker, you could go Gostowski.
Right.
But I'm going to play it smart. I got to go with my man Jake Elliott from the Eagles.
Get out of here.
He's so biased. He's so biased.
I've seen that man make some super big kicks when it counts. He beat the
but
Giants.
I get it.
When it
but
counted.
The Eagles are going to score touchdowns. Like they have a legitimate quarterback. Like you're not going to get the points that. Like I've been beaten by teams that didn't have a quarterback and they end up kicking field goals all day long. Like we've all experienced that in fantasy. So I have the same situation with baseball. Like I pick my team I want. So I end up with David Wright, and I pick him every 3 years. And
I'm
if you want no points, that's what you pick.
I don't usually
He drafts right to IR. It's perfect.
right.
I'm not
It's
usually
great.
a homer when it comes to my picks because that's how I feel like I
I
end up
get
getting
that.
burned.
I get that.
But
I appreciate that. But it's a kicker.
When it
It's
comes
a
to
kicker.
a kicker,
All right,
I've
if
seen
you're
my
gonna
kicker.
draft
You're
with your
right.
heart,
You're
pick a
hard.
kicker.
You go
Pick a
kicker.
kicker.
Yeah,
That's
Ryan, applaud him.
There we go.
I'm still going with a cooker.
Wow, that round of applause was go with a cooker. Yeah.
Well,
All right,
whoever's
Ryan, how
cooking
about,
these sandwiches
defense?
up.
Defense, baby.
Who do you got for the defense?
Oh, defense. The Vikings are going to have a very strong defense again. That is true. But there's a couple different routes. You can go with the Vikings. The Jags are going to be strong again on D. Yep.
That's
that's
being
tough.
strong on D is very important.
Saxylvania is what they call themselves now. Not Jackson, not Saxylvania, just Jacksonville. Is that what they call themselves? Saxonville?
Saxonville.
They had a
Florida.
nickname
That's an
last
improvement
year.
for Florida.
Yeah.
Saxonville.
Well, and they're ranked high too.
Jacksonville.
They're ranked number 2.
Defense is rough. I've seen people who literally won't even draft the defense and will just play matchups all year long, which is not a bad strategy actually.
That's exactly what I do. I draft whatever defense is left at the end, and then I just play waivers throughout the year, depending on who the matchups are.
So that's it. That's our fantasy input for the day. # trust the process.
Trust the process. I mean,
So-
who can you trust? If you're going to trust anyone, trust the process.
Right. I mean,
And
that,
trust Mike Time Steve show.
Yeah.
you got to look like
You
we
have
got-
been.
New York City has 2 basketball teams. They stole one from New Jersey. They literally took a gun out and was like, "Listen, we're taking your team. There's nothing you could do about it."
It is Brooklyn.
Yeah, we're Brooklyn. Hey, watch your mouth, bro. All right? Like, there's certain things that I'm cool with. Do not make fun of Brooklyn.
That's a
that
pink
is a
slip.
no-fly
That's a pink
zone.
Where
slip.
Brooklyn at?
Yeah, it's right here, motherfucker. Oh, no.
Oh, he did it. He did it.
No, man.
He did it.
I'm sorry I had to bring that out of Mike. Yeah, it's my fault.
Yeah, that's the problem. You can't do that.
Yeah.
But anyway, so trust the process. The Sixers are such a tie. Like, help me out here. They're just a fun team to watch.
The Sixers, I didn't pick my tight end.
Right.
So
Oh.
pause.
Well, come on. Give him a
Pause,
shot.
but-
Well,
Well,
there's a banner. So now you got your tight end and
I'm
trust the process.
gonna pick my tight end and then I'm going to Sixers. But I would pick Kelsey over anybody else right now, just because Gronk scares me with his injuries. I'd never draft Gronk. He always does well, but he scares me with his injuries. And Kelsey, we got Patrick Mahomes. He's coming in. We got a rookie quarterback. I think he's going to rely on his tight end, and Kelsey is a monster.
Right.
So I think Kelsey's going to get open a lot. He's going to catch a lot of balls this year. So I'm picking Kelsey as my number 1 tight end over Gronk. And I would pick him. I swear I'd pick him in the first round. If I had a 12th pick
Yeah.
and like Antonio Brown's gone, and maybe Odell, because I'd probably pick Odell in the first round as well. But if I have a couple people gone, I might pick him at 12th pick
Yeah.
for real, and then double dip with somebody else in the second round.
That's it.
But
I mean, we have a question out here, and it has to do with keeper leagues.
Okay.
And if you guys have never been a part of a keeper league before, basically you would draft whatever the start of the keeper league is, and then you get to keep someone. And depending on the rules or from your roster, depending on the rules of the keeper league, I've seen it to where
you can keep 2 or 3 people
you
pretty
can
much.
keep 2, you can keep 1, but you lose
One. Wow,
you
just
lose
one.
that draft spot for the following draft.
have
So
him.
John, he's from Philly. He's out here at Nick's Roast Beef, and he's got a little bit of a problem here. He said he had Wentz, and he thinks he could keep Wentz, but that means he loses an 8th round draft pick. His other option is Thielen, from wide receiver from Minnesota. If he ends up keeping Adam Thielen, he loses the 5th round. Do you know now, John? Do you know what order you're drafting in yet, or no? What draft pick do you have? So he's got the 4th pick overall. I'll let you know. I'll let you think
Wait.
about this. I'll let you think about this right now. I would rather keep Wentz and lose that 8th round. That way, I know my rounds 1 through 7. I can concentrate on everything but a quarterback.
That's an easy decision. That's a very easy decision.
Or wait,
Keep
he
Wentz.
was going to say something.
Or he can keep Kelsey.
Your name's John?
And so he can keep Kelsey, give up a 7th rounder. So you lose a 7th round for. Ooh.
So wait. His name is John?
Yes.
Can we all have a moment of silence for John? Because I would not want to be in your shoes right now.
I mean, to me,
if my boss came up to me and was like, "What's wrong?" and I explained that to him, he'd be like, "Take the rest of the day off."
That's a conflict right there.
So I mean,
that's
are you
Yeah,
losing?
fine.
Are you saying you lose your 3rd round pick if you keep
Josh,
Kelsey?
give
No,
this
he would
to-
lose a
Give this to
7.
this guy. I'm buying this guy a shot.
Now, John, are you asking us what do you do in the situation?
I'm keeping Kelsey.
It's like, all right, so
That's a shot from us. Or a beer.
I mean, Kelsey is a good
But you,
pick.
so
I
you would
say-
give away your 7th rounder, but you
I
would
say
lose
trade
your
him.
3rd round pick.
He would be my 3rd rounder. And I already traded away Derrick Henry for a 7th rounder.
Jeez
so I wouldn't
Louise.
lose any.
I don't know. That is a
I
conflict.
might, truthfully, with the 4th round overall in a snake draft, I would keep Wentz. I think I would keep Wentz, and then that way because that way you have, 6. Well, hold on. If you keep Wentz, you lose your 8th round draft pick. That's 7 picks right there. You
would-
can pick up. You might end up grabbing Kelsey,
Yeah. Honestly, if
4th
we-
round and not even having to worry.
If we
about
called up ABC and told them John's situation, they would get rid of all my children and just put him in there. So I'm dead
think so.
serious. It's a drama filled. I don't know.
Kelsey, Thielen,
it. So who would we rather have, Kelsey, Thielen, or Wentz?
It really
I
comes
mean,
down to Kelsey or Wentz for me.
Well, it's not a matter of who would you rather have. I'd rather have all of them, but what do I want to give up for them?
My
You know what I mean?
situation is like I hate.
I would take. I mean, if all those guys are available, you're going to take Kelsey over any over Thielen and over Wentz. Nobody else would.
Not to lose a third round.
That's the problem, though, is losing that round.
Yeah.
No, he's not losing a third round. He's saying he's losing a seventh round for Kelsey.
No, he trades his seventh rounder.
Kelsey, if you like third round pick, I get my first rounder, second rounder, Kelsey, but I would lose a seventh rounder.
So you wouldn't be able to keep anybody. Would you be able to keep Wentz as well, or no? Could you keep Wentz and lose your? Oh shoot, yeah.
So he'd pick Kelsey in the third round, but he'd still lose his seventh.
To only
so
have Wentz, but
two
still
draft
have the
picks.
first 6 or first 7 picks, and have
way.
Wentz, I think is good. I
But
think
essentially, he's
keeping Wentz.
losing 2 draft picks.
Well, look, we have.
I like Thielen,
We
but
have
not-
all break to think about this. So we're going to take a short break. We're going to
Talk
think
to
about
John.
it. We're going to talk
We're gonna-
to you.
we're gonna talk
We're
him
going to
out.
try to console you on this.
Right.
And we're come up with a
So
decision.
listen, this segment got to give him a shirt.
Yeah.
So
he's a partner now. I think he's officially a partner.
I think he is. So this segment was brought to you by R&R Produce Inc. and Garden Center. Wholesale retail. So if you're a restaurant and you're like, oh, I'm spending too much on my veggies and fruit, you got to contact R&R. They're going to hook you up. So Nick's, any of these restaurants out there, you're spending too much on your veggies, your onions, your stuff like that. You need to contact Ray at R&R Produce Inc. and they're going to hook you up. As well as that, from a consumer standpoint, wholesale and retail. So they produce fresh flowers, roses, annual perennials and plants, hanging baskets, fall mums, pumpkins, Christmas trees, wreaths, blankets, seasonal items. You ask it for it, they got it. We got a giant Eagles blow-up doll in the store that I work at, and it was thanks to R&R Produce.
We just throw passes at it all day long.
We do, and it catches them. Like, it's just crazy.
And scores touchdowns.
Yeah, it's nuts. So thank you, R&R Produce. Thank you for sponsoring this segment, and we'll be right back with more.
The Mike Time Steve Show. The Mike Time Steve Show.
You want to talk about underdog? You want to talk about a hungry dog? For 52 years, you've been starved in this championship. Everybody wonders why we're so mean. Everybody wonders why the Philadelphia Eagles aren't the nicest fans. If I don't eat breakfast, I'm fucking pissed off.
Mike Time Steve Show. The Mike Time Steve Show. Whoa!
All right, so we're back for our third part over here. Nick's Roast Beef, doing a great job over here. I'm so filled up right now. I think I'm going to go back to Planet Fitness tomorrow.
Seriously, naked.
And get some
Because
pizza?
My clothes won't fit me.
Absolutely. So just starting a new fresh one here. We had a situation where the umpire had a bad call, right? So what happened in this minor league baseball game was that someone actually had brought out, this was the coach, I believe, right? The coach came out with the trash can and placed that in front of home plate and said that this umpire right here, he can actually umpire just the trash can itself. So I thought that was great by itself right there.
Right. So the coach did come out. He was upset. His player was upset with the calls that the umpire was saying. But the situation was the coach came out to protect his player. So the player was already tossed because of the arguing balls and strikes. So the player leaves the area of play, grabs a garbage can, and puts it in front of home plate and tells the umpire, "This is your home. This is where you live," and walks off the field. Obviously, he got suspended for 5-6 games, right? So this guy's suspended now. The next day, his coach now gets thrown out of the game, arguing a play at third base. He takes the base off, hands it to a kid in the crowd, and says, "This is yours now." So now he's suspended for multiple games. The other thing is, with the player with the trash can, he just did a PSA announcement for making sure that you don't litter, put your trash in a trash can. So now every third inning they play in this minor league game, this kid saying that. So I think it's well done. I think it's something that's missing in Major League Baseball. Lou Piniella used to kick up dust, throw bases at umpires, and the fact is, with instant replay, we don't get to see that as baseball fans anymore. Do you guys agree with me? All right.
Yeah, you definitely don't see that as much anymore. And now that you have the time to wait there and replay something,
Right.
you're not going to get that heated argument. You're only going to get those that minute or so when the manager comes out and tries to tell the umpire, hey, hold up a second. We're all waiting, and we're talking about speeding up the game. That slows down the game.
It slows down the game. Especially like with the Mets situation, like they lost a lot of games, and maybe Callaway was like, "Oh, you need to fire up your team." Well, you can't fire up your team when you can't argue anything because it's like, "Oh, let's just wait and look at the video, and we'll all just handle this like civilized people." Like, no, it's a sport. We don't handle it like civilized people. We argue, we fight, and we do it that way. So that's my issue with replay. I think it kind of takes that away, and you only get to now experience it with minor league games where they don't have cameras. They don't have situations where they can argue what the ump says. Umps make bad calls. That's what they're paid to do, okay? Referees, too. Like, that's what they're paid to do, and we're paid to bitch about them.
You would rather have
Absolutely.
the wrong call in an argument than the right call?
In baseball, yes, because
yes.
it's the human element that I love.
Let me share a story with you. Johan Santana for the beloved New York Mets, right? Because everybody loves them here.
Everybody.
So they would not have a no-hitter if instant replay was announced because the fact is Carlos Beltran, who was playing for the Cardinals. Yeah, St. Louis Cardinals, hit the chalk. And it would have been, oh, wait, let's go to our headphones. Everybody put on your headphones.
Wait a minute. Actually, that's not reviewable. That particular play is not. That's still what
He still has a no-hitter.
Fair?
It's
He
official.
still has it, yeah.
All right, well, whatever. We're getting to that point where that would not be a no-hitter. Call me in 6 months, bro. But anyway, so top 5 fantasy players, PBR and non-PBR. Somebody is definitely testing their fantasy skills, and I am not happy about it.
I'm ecstatic. I love it.
So,
keep on bringing it.
I mean, PBR is obviously any wide receiver or running back situation. So I would go with obviously Bell or Gurley on the running back situation.
I mean, you can even throw in David Johnson too.
Oh,
for PPR.
yeah,
Or
because
if you're talking PPR,
but he's going to only play one game and get injured. So I'm not going to talk David Johnson because that we have a issue with DJ. Okay, so thank you, writer. Jesus, I gotta teach him everything.
Zeke too. So I'm sticking with my first pick, man. I'm going Aaron Rodgers. I don't care what anyone says. I don't care.
So that's the beauty of fantasy football right there. Like, let me share that with you. You could be a novice. You could be the biggest football fan in the world, like our buddy John over here. But the fact is, you don't have to know it all to draft. I mean, I've seen situations in fantasy leagues where my wife outplayed me, and she didn't know anything. She's like, "Oh, that sounds like a great name. I'll go with that."
She didn't outplay you. Her players outplayed you.
Yeah,
right?
no, she
it's better
outplays
than
me.
being played.
And that's
to
the
be
thing
honest.
is luck. It's luck. You can't.
Right.
You don't know what's going to happen.
Exactly.
People can
You-
get injured and
Arrested
people
for murder.
Last year, I got Kareem Hunt. I got Kareem Hunt in like the 4th round or something, and he killed it for me. He's my best player by far. And you never know. You can't predict that kind of stuff. You never know what's going to happen.
No, it all comes down. And you can do the research to put yourself in a good position. But you're right, Ty. It all comes down to luck.
So, Corey, before we get into our next segment, you want to pull a name out of our bucket, the
Sure.
Mike Times Steve bucket, and we're going to give him a fire stick. All right?
Oh, here we go. Drum roll. Somebody.
It's Corey. No, I'm sure. He actually put it away.
All right, Fire Stick comes to R&R Produce.
R&R Pro.
How you like that? R&R. You just produced yourself winning.
That's like the biggest setup ever. I'm going to give it to Josh. Hashtag bring back Dan. We missed the old
So somebody
intern.
wants the old intern. Is that Dan that wrote that?
God
might
damn
be.
it, Dan.
That was probably our old intern. He called in the other day, really upset. He might have snuck in here. I
Yeah.
told security, do not let him in this.
Listen,
in
if
this
you
bar.
want, if you want to be an intern for the Mike Times Steve show, no offense, Ryan, maybe you'll get
The
promoted.
position has been filled.
No, seriously,
it's interchanging every day.
go to the MikeXSteve.com and just send us an email. There's a comment section, and we'll figure out a show where you could sit in, and Ryan can do something else.
Dan wants to be like me. He's nothing like me.
Bring back Dan.
So
We got Dan supporters out here. That's great.
Yeah, look, like so trash can ump like kudos to the minor league team for making it interesting because like it's very difficult to not only sell tickets but also to play at that level. You know what I mean? They're making less money than the average trash can guy. so at least he's that passionate where he's going to risk it all just to say, hey, man, you suck at umpiring. So that's pretty much it for that. So,
yeah, but like garbage men too. Like that's not what they want to be called, but garbage men
sanitation
do get better benefits than actual trash cans.
Oh, they absolutely do, and they get
That's
better
a fact.
benefits than minor league baseball players, unless you're
Yeah.
Tim Tebow.
Yeah, you got to take on a second job. If you're
I
the
get
minor
it.
leagues.
Yeah, the Church of Tebow.
So here's something you guys might like. The Mets are worthless.
Who thinks the Mets are worthless?
I do.
Anybody? Raise your hand.
If you think the Mets are worthless, let me get a hell
Jerry?
yeah.
Can I get a hell yeah?
They're not convincing enough to me. But look, man. So
I think they like the Mets.
What
I
I'm
see a
talking
lot of
about-
The
blue
Mets
and
are so worthless, nobody even cares to say how worthless they are.
Yeah.
yeah, they're just like it's a non-factor.
It's disappointing.
Well, Jason Wirth certainly thinks they're worthless. There was every single team out there. He's like, look, I'm game. I'll sign with you, anybody you want, except for the Mets. Just if the Mets come, I don't care what the Mets give me. I'm not playing for you.
Right.
And I think that's pretty awesome too. Playing devil's advocate here, and that's exactly what I'm doing. I mean, Jason Wirth, God bless his hair. He's always had like those that lion mane going on, even better than Syndergaard and DeGrom. But
Right.
he has a right to say I don't want to go to any team that he doesn't want to go, and he chose the Mets. I don't think that's surprising to me.
No, not at all. I mean, think about it. He was on the Nats. He was on the Phillies. Like,
Here's the thing, though. He called supposedly every other team.
and
He
everybody
still
said
doesn't have a
no.
job.
Yeah.
So
And I don't know if you know this. He actually had
No.
offers in November and declined them based on the advice of his agent.
yeah.
And
Well, I don't think anybody expected the MLB situation to be like, yeah, nobody's getting paid. Even the situation with Philly, like getting Carlos
Santana.
Santana
yeah,
and Arrieta,
exactly. Well, Arrieta, I think they got a good deal on.
they got
did.
an incredible deal on. But that's
yeah,
the point. Like
yeah,
that would
but
normally be a
Santana,
big money
Santana got paid before all these other guys didn't get paid.
Yeah.
So I think he got money that he wouldn't have gotten if he didn't hurry up and sign that contract. So in Wirt's situation, I agree with that. But the funny thing is that, yeah, you could say you snubbed the Mets, but there's 31 teams that snubbed you, bro. So I get it. Like, yeah, the Mets suck, blah, blah, blah. If we were in first, I don't think he says that.
Including minor league teams too.
Yeah,
they're like, no, thank you.
exactly. Like, no, bro, we're good. So, like, there was another thing that like went on social media, and our street team captain Josh pointed out to me. It was like Jason Wirth hit a bomb, and I was like, oh, that's cool. Like, where was it? Oh, it was like a beer league softball team. Like, yeah, that's cool. I got a guy named Will that does that.
It was in his backyard. His wife was pitching to him.
The Little League World Series.
Yeah, it's seriously. Oh my God.
He hit it right out of Williamsport.
Yeah, I mean, what would his nickname be? Because now we have all these players that have nicknames for the Little League the weekend, and Wirth would be like Mets are worthless. I guess that would be on the back of his jersey.
I guess
so. Boxberger. He had the emojis.
See that? Yeah, he had so if you didn't see this, so the MLB is allowing, I guess, to boost morale or whatever for the players because they don't make enough money. So we got to boost their morale. They're allowed to put whatever they want on the back of their jerseys, like it's the XFL. So Boxberger, who's a player, he literally has an emoji of a box, an emoji of a burger.
And that's his nickname on the back of his jersey.
Boxberger.
That's not even just his nickname. That's his actual.
That's
thing.
his actual name as well. Yeah.
But
so,
I mean, do you guys think that's taking it too far? Because I mean, you could just have anything now. A player could have a picture of his dog on the
Right.
back of his jersey at
that'd
that
be
point.
cool.
Hungry dogs do run the fastest, though.
Yeah.
If you're a base dealer, that's what you want on the back of your jersey.
Right.
Absolutely. Let's
A
face
picture
it.
of a dog and a burger.
Or
And
the
a
Arms
burger.
can have just the trash can on the back of their shirt.
Well, that's like, so if you're a Philly fan, you know Hunter Pence, right?
Yeah, of course. Come on. We
Yeah,
don't-
so he's got captain. He's the captain of the Giants now. So his nickname was Underpants. So he's Captain Underpants, ladies and gentlemen.
That's it.
Yeah, so
I love it. As baseball fans, I really want to know what do you think about the extracurricular stuff just to bring eyes? How do you think about? What do you think about that?
I
kind
think
of
it's
stuff?
good because it kind of goes back
It's
to
different.
what Bryce Harper was saying, like, make baseball fun again. And I think
you guys definitely need the that kind of stuff right now.
Yeah, because we don't have steroids. Like, we don't have
the steroids are
that
gone.
to kind of.
I wish we had it back, honestly.
Right.
I mean, if anyone knows anyone.
Yeah, like Justin,
good old days.
Yeah,
you know?
like if Justin Timberlake was like, I'm bringing roids back.
I'm like, yeah.
Like, think about it. Like, we're like, oh, we're watching legendary stuff. No, bro, they're just on medical
They're
stuff
just on a whole
that
other
allows
planet.
them to do this. So, I don't know. It's just...
I like it. I think it, like you said, it brings new viewers to the game because, you know, for the most part, only baseball fans, it sounds
Right.
stupid to say out loud, but only guys or girls that are into baseball watch
Right.
baseball. It doesn't draw any other crowd
Agreed.
to it.
But if I was Vince McMahon, I'm suing the MLB because he had this idea 10 years ago with the XFL. He hate me. Like, he had all these nicknames on the back of their jerseys. Teddy's shaking his head yes back there, one of our multipliers, because he knows Vince McMahon made it this idea, and the MLB is just taking it to the
And it's
degree.
coming back, too, the XFL.
The XFL is coming back, and I'm excited for that. But
Are we going to have a fantasy draft?
the XFL fantasy draft.
Maybe they'll be allowed
Go
to actually
the
tackle as
Mike
opposed to the
Time
NFL.
Steve
Oh, my God, it's a fantasy draft.
Oh, my God.
You can't do that.
Speaking of that, like, Kane is now a mayor in, like, Tennessee or something, right?
Yes, he is.
That's so
Yes, he
weird.
is.
My God, it's Kane.
Well, that's when
No.
they saw the results. They're like, oh, my God, you can't do that. You
Think
gotta
of
watch
his
the kids.
family.
He goes to sign a bill and they say no, and then he slowly folds up
Yeah,
a chair.
like, I
It's like,
just-
what do you think about
I'm
this
going to
now?
get that bill
Takes the
signed.
glove, and he's, like, about to do a choke slam, you know? It's like, oh, I want you to meet my brother. You know,
Hey, but what I really think it is, though, with the nicknames, I think
Right.
it's to get the youth back into baseball.
I get that.
Because
yeah.
they figure, you got to keep the generations going. So
You do.
if they have a game in
Right.
a Little League field, I'm not talking about Yankee Stadium right field. I'm not talking about that Little League field. I'm talking about in Williamsport. So you have them there. I believe it's called the Volunteer Field. They push the fences back a little bit because, come on, it's like 200 feet to center field. I mean,
Right.
that would be a little ridiculous, right? That'd be like a 20 to 19 game at the very least. But they decided to do it there because they want to get the Little Leaguers more involved, and that's why they have the nicknames. You see it now with Facebook, too. So they're having exclusive Facebook Live to watch your game of the week here.
Right,
So
right.
now every Thursday, I don't know if you guys knew about this, it's on Facebook, and you can only watch it on Facebook.
Right.
I remember the beginning of the season when my team was actually looking like contenders. I was mad because I was
Mets
like,
versus Phillies, too.
They were
was,
the first game to be live on Facebook.
They were.
Oh my God! And it was a day game,
I
and
was like,
we're
what
like
is-
all
what
at
the-
work,
is this
and we're
here?
like, "What do you mean I got to be on Facebook? I'm gonna get fired."
Did baseball? Well, it might have been baseball or basketball. Did it with Twitter either last year or the year before, where they had
Right.
exclusive games only on Twitter. It's just a way to kind of get more people onto Facebook or onto Instagram or wherever.
right. And if you spend an extra $10 on Fortnite, you can actually watch the game. I heard too.
That's
That's a
good
fact.
one. So going into the Little League World Series one more time, like Steve, you were talking to me during like when we were doing the meetings and stuff, like your Little League experience, and it was kind of touching.
Oh,
So-
yeah. So let me tell you about this. So when I was a kid, I mean, I wasn't that great at baseball. I'll be honest with you. I loved the game, but I wasn't that
Right.
great. I thought that I was a pitcher, right? I thought I was going to be the best pitcher, best thing you knew since Nick's roast beef. So I went up there to the coach, and I said, listen, coach, I'm pitching in this game. And it was a scrimmage, so it didn't matter. It didn't matter at all. And he was like, nah, I have plans. I got to put in my son. He's got to pitch. And I was like, okay, screw your son. What's going to happen? Not literally, but screw your son because I'm going to be pitching here. I told him, here's my ultimatum. I said, if you don't put me on that pitcher's mound, I'm going to take a on the field. And he took me seriously, too. He's like, this kid looks like he ate a lot. He probably had a lot of roast beef. He's going to do it. And I was serious. I was going to do it. But he put me in. Thank God.
How'd you do?
How did I do? Horribly. I gave up. I gave up a grand slam quicker than you can say roast beef.
Roast beef.
And that's how quick the ball
I think
left.
you just gave up another one right now.
I think I did. And good thing I'm not there because after
Josh
all the
is
sandwich.
bringing me something. You could come all the way around.
Yeah, come on in.
So thank you, Josh. Like he's been out surveying the crowd, talking to everybody, doing whatever we need, and I love you, buddy. So my Little League experience was very similar, except for I didn't say I was going to take an ish. I kind of cried, but it was during a fall league thing, so it's like kind of be like a fundamental thing. I'm a lefty. The only way I get into the infield is by playing first base. you can't be a catcher. You can't go third. You can't go short. You can't go second. You got to be first base or pitcher. So this was a fundamental league for me, and they told me like, yeah, the last day of the league you could pitch. I was like, all right, great. And then they announced that somebody else is going to pitch, and I started crying, and they let me pitch, and I went 1, 2, 3, baby. Got so the first guy. Hey, John's leaving. Everybody, thank you, John.
Thank you, John.
Thank you, John.
Thank you.
Hey, can you fact check that, Ty?
Mike Time, get that guy a shirt.
Can you look at if he actually really was
You want a
successful?
shirt? Come back, baby. All right, we're bringing it back. John's coming back. Get him a shirt. Get him. Yeah,
a heavy participant
you're a
today.
smart man.
Get up for John.
I love Josh. But anyway, so yeah, welcome to the. You're a part of the family. Mike Time Steve, baby.
Good old John.
So anyway, I cried. There was a pop-up to right field. Then it was I struck this guy out. Then it was a comebacker right to me, ground ball. And I looked at my glove, and the ball was there, and I threw it to first. But my Little League experience has changed my life. And I'll tell you this, Fred Brighton, I don't know if my coach is still alive or not, but I know his family is. And he always had this mantra, down by 2. So no matter what happened in his life, he always felt that we were down by 2. So I literally would watch guys like Chris, Cody, my buddy Derek, like hit home runs, hit all these situations. We're in the first inning, and I would go up to our coach, and I'd say, hey, coach, what's the score? And he'd say, down by 2. We're down by 2, Mike. And I was like, no, I know we're not down by 2. We just scored 4, and they didn't even back. He's like, I want you to live your life like you're always down by 2. So when it comes to my employees, it comes to my family, and they always look at me, and they're like, why are you worried? I live my life like I'm down by 2. Mm-hmm. Okay, guys? So we're down by 2. Any situation, you're down by 2. And if you live your life that way, you will always succeed. Mm-hmm. So if you take anything from this long live podcast, be down by 2. Mm-hmm. Okay? Don't give up. Be down by 2. I don't care how great you're doing right now. Act like you're down by 2. Because if you act like you're down by 2, you're always going to freaking win.
Mm-hmm. And we're
Let's
not talking
go.
about like being down by 2 shots or down by 2 beers.
What if I'm short $2?
Or being down by 2
I don't
hosts.
care. Be down by $2. I'll spot you that too.
Yeah, I'll help you out, man.
I love you.
Thanks for being a friend. That's what friends are for.
If we're down by 2 hosts, maybe I get a shot at that point?
Still don't get a shot.
But
Corey's next.
during our break,
He moved up the power rankings.
during our break, we were talking about that. So speaking of power rankings, Mount Rushmore. Okay, we all know what that is, right?
Do
so
we? You know
Mount
what this is?
Rushmore. So we're gonna do a Philly Mount Rushmore. I want Corey to walk around and ask anybody who knows anything, whether it be Josh, whether it be Ray, who is in your Philly sport Mount Rushmore, and that could be Rocky Balboa. Mm-hmm. That could be Mike Schmidt, who was not a fan favorite until he was retired. Reggie White, Joe Frazier, Wilt Chamberlain, Allen Iverson. I don't care.
Ben Franklin.
I want our fans to Ben Franklin. Yeah, maybe he shot the J. Who knows? Who knows? I believe it.
I believe it.
Is there anybody that has any suggestions for a Philadelphia Mount Rushmore? Yes. Daryl Hall and John Oates.
You're making my dreams come true, bro.
Oh no, it's man.
I mean, if you're
Just
going to
making
do an
Sarah
all-Philly
smile.
list, they're definitely on there.
Yeah, it's not even sports.
If
Then
there's
All
a
those is
bartender
ridiculous.
listening, just cut that man off.
he's down by 2.
Josh has got something. What do you got, Josh?
If we're going to do each individual sport, I would say basketball has to be Allen Iverson. But
Yes.
What happened to Wilt?
I'm way younger. I'm way younger. So I'm from the generation of Allen Iverson. So if you go basketball, I say Allen Iverson. Phillies, I would say that's a toss-up. It's either going to be Mike Schmidt if you're an older generation, but if you're a newer generation, it's probably going to be Chase Utley or Jimmy Rollins, depending on
J-Roll.
who is your favorite. For me, it would be J-Roll.
Yeah,
then
me
if you
too.
go hockey, it would have to be either, again, younger generation, so Eric Lindros. But if you're going to go older generation, I would say Bobby Clark or maybe Perrin.
I think you got to go Bobby because Eric doesn't know who he is right now.
MLB
With all
did
the
nothing to that
concussions.
guy.
The concussions lead to a distorted memory, so he probably thinks he was a baseball player. And then if you're gonna go, so you have basketball, you have your baseball, you have your hockey. Football is gonna be the hardest for me. Watching sports like growing up, the thing that made me love Philadelphia is Brian Dawkins.
All right.
So I think if you're gonna go just one Eagle, has to be either Brian Dawkins or Reggie White.
Reggie White.
And what do we, all right, so
Reggie
what do we think?
Tell him.
Let's start with the most recent Mike Steve cast. Brian Dawkins, Reggie White. What do we think about that?
Reggie White.
Reggie.
100%.
Well, you got to go Big Reg. I mean,
Reggie.
Dawkins is great. Just inducted. You know, amazing person. But let's give it some time here. Let's go Reggie. I mean,
Let's
Reggie
not
would-
forget. Never forget Reggie. Come on.
Well,
124
when we talked about it
sacks.
before, we said we're only picking players. So my list was literally 2 Eagles and 2 Sixers. For me, I'm not even counting Will. I'm sorry. Will played more years in L.A. than he did in
Yeah, you're right.
in Philly.
But he
You're
was
right, you're
still
right.
one of the most dominant players.
I don't.
in
But
NBA.
he's not. To me, he's not. I don't.
You wouldn't
I like
consider
Will
Philly.
obviously
Wouldn't
was
consider
dominant.
I get
Maybe on the
that. I
NBA
get
Mount
that.
Rushmore, but not Philadelphia.
Philadelphia, I like Dr. J more than I like Will.
Okay.
So I'm picking
Well,
AI and Dr. J, and then Dawkins and Reggie White. I'm picking two Eagles, 2 Sixers, just because that's what I watch.
Could I go
But-
next? Could I go next here? I just have to chime in. Okay, so Wilt Chamberlain, all right? So if we're going to judge Mount Rushmore by how many girls you slept with, I think Wilt Chamberlain wins, hands down. And then next thing too, not only did he sleep with the most girls, but he had the best style. So let's give him some style points too. Come on, Wilt, get in here. All right, so
AI had the best
do you
style.
know all this?
He had wave
how do
caps.
I mean, I wasn't
and
even born probably,
jerseys
but
and fitted
look,
hats.
I'm gonna say my
Yo.
4: Mike Schmidt, baseball. I'm gonna do it by the 4 sports here, 4 major, right?
Okay.
Okay. Now in hockey, I'm going Eric Lindros. Okay. Football, Reggie White. All right. And then basketball, Wilt Chamberlain. That's mine right there.
Okay. I.
Why am I getting looks? I mean, I think that's like the best
So-
Mount Rushmore
No,
ever.
I don't
Any-
disagree. I
anybody
don't know
who
if I pull the
opened-
trigger on Lindros, but if we're talking our generation, then yeah. I mean, Lindy probably did it for the Phils, you know, between or for the Flyers between you know.
I mean, we don't talk about hockey that much, so come on, we gotta put
No,
hockey in there somewhere.
I'll give you that. I mean, he was a dominant player.
Mm-hmm.
You know, he, like I said, concussion
So-
after concussion. Scott Stevens pretty much ended his career. when
Yeah,
you
he
think
can't even
about it
remember
that
how
way,
good
but-
he was.
No,
That's how-
Eric who?
that's how many
but,
concussions
But
he
no,
had.
he was a great player, solid player for captain for the Flyers.
So-
So you can't be mad at that.
Yeah, so if I got to pick a top 4, like honestly, like I'm going where if you open my store with me, you know what I'm gonna say. So Joe Frazier, because we saw him.
You have to.
He's number 1. I met him. I have a picture with him. The dude was still slaying chicks.
I mean, when you're the first pro boxer
And we
to
met him a
defeat
few
Muhammad
years
Ali,
before he
I mean,
passed
come on.
away.
He was still slanging.
Yeah, dude, without a doubt. So we're gonna go Joe Frazier. If we go Flyers, we're going Bernie Parent. Ooh. Yeah, baby. Right. So that's what we're going with them. So with the Phillies, I'm gonna go Mike Schmidt, even though he was a dick towards his fans and towards the press until he realized, oh, maybe I shouldn't be a dick if I want to worry about my legacy. And then like 10 years after he's done playing baseball, he's like, all right, I'm gonna be a nice guy. Everybody hug me. But the one thing I will say, outside looking in, going to a Philadelphia game, you see a lot of Mike Schmidt jerseys. So he is the Babe Ruth of Philadelphia.
But still, the biggest dick is Nick.
Right.
That's
and
it.
then if I'm going
Let's face it, Big Dick Nick, man. He's got that.
so if I'm going number 4, I'm going Allen Iverson. He's the answer. My favorite thing about Allen Iverson is he beat Michael Jordan at Michael Jordan's last game.
Anybody that
and
can cross
MJ. He acted like Michael Jordan was in his prime when he beat him. He's like, I'm just happy to know that I beat Michael Jordan. Do you know what I'm talking about? Like his press conference after AI beat Michael Jordan in Michael Jordan's last game, like AI was more happier than MJ.
Well, you know what
Like,
helped him out, right?
What's that?
All that practice.
Practice.
Practice?
Yeah.
Oh,
We
man,
don't
we talk about practice.
So speaking of practice, if you go to Philly Banner Express and you're trying to practice and you want to have a podcast or you have a situation going on where maybe you have a birthday, maybe you want a DJ or anything like that, you got to go to Philly Banner Express. They're going to have anything you need, and you want to have a professional setting, you go to Philly Banner Express. So they're in Northeast Philly, 236 East Huntington Park Ave, Philadelphia, PA, 19124. You could also call them today at 267-385-5451. Philly Banner Express. I mean, you could see our pictures. You'll see our social media videos. This is legit. And if you want your next event to be legit, you need Philly Banner Express in your life.
Yeah,
all right?
and don't call at like 3 a.m. And if you do, leave a message.
Yeah, just
right?
leave a message.
That way Philly Banner can get a hold of you.
Exactly.
All right, and then give it up for R&R again, R&R Produce.
Right.
You know, we talk about so much about production and, you know, with the multipliers. And, you know, they're multiplying on a daily basis, you know, with their farm goods. I mean, being a Mets fan, too, I don't have a farm system anymore. I have no more farm, so I could probably call up R&R and be like, hey, let me get a farm system back. They probably hook me up with that fresh produce.
They got a better farm system than the New York Mets. I could promise
They
you
do.
that. So
They absolutely do.
Yeah.
Hands down. So you know, right now, like we weren't really sure how this was going to work out, but it worked out great. So again, thank you guys. You know, we've been on Instagram, we've been on Twitter, we've been on iHeartRadio, Facebook Live, but we never been at Knicks. Not in a situation like this. You know,
No.
and in Philadelphia too.
normally we're in the comforts of our
Multipliers.
in the bowels of Shea Stadium.
Yeah, we went from the
so-
bowels of Shea Stadium. I
Right.
told my mom about this. She's like, "You're going to Philadelphia with a Mets themed shirt." Like,
No.
it wouldn't be the first time, but it could be the last.
It could be the last. I was
But
concerned.
so far, thanks for treating me well.
Yeah,
Yeah.
This might be the first time you went there without getting something thrown at you.
Yeah,
right,
yeah.
right.
It's
Yo,
not over yet.
That's the thing, though. Like, that's the crazy thing. Like, so my wife, myself, like, growing up by LBI and Tom's River, like, we were like, oh, it's much easier to go to a Philly game than it is to go to a Met game. So we would go to a Philly game at Veterans Park Stadium. And we go to Veterans Stadium, and the Mets won. And we're like, oh, shit, the Mets won. That's cool, right? So on our way out, like, there's a couple, the writer just let me know I cursed for the second time. The writer, my wife goes, oh, this
Louise.
is great. Like, the Mets won, like, blah, 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 all this other stuff. And all you see is this bottle of beer that's not open, like, coming straight for my wife's head. And I knock it down, and I look at this dude. I give him the look of death, and I was like, look, just trying to get out of here, like, you know. So we get it. You're passionate. We get it, the situation that we were in. But, dude, you almost killed my wife before she was my wife. So
It's a good thing you have those first baseman skills. Otherwise
yeah.
You may not have gotten in front of that.
Oh, my God. I've done that twice. So we were at a Trenton Thunder, and Corey, the writer, could back me up on this. We're watching, like, Andy Pettit, like, pitch a rehab start. Yeah. And somebody made a comment. I think it might have been Bert, his twin brother, was like, hey, like, we're in crazy foul ball territory, like all this other stuff. So Jen is in the first seat of our row. Then it's me. Then it's everybody else who wants to talk to me or talk to not my wife, Jenny. No, but they're all in row, and we get this line drive off of one of Andy Pettit's like 90-mile-an-hour fastballs, and it's coming right for my wife's head. And quick thinking, I like block it. I catch it with my beer/hand, so I catch it like right in front of her head.
Like plastic beer bottle in hand.
Right.
Like just stick the hand out and
I caught it using the beer bottle in my bare hand. So when the ball hits the beer bottle, like all this water just shoots out of the beer bottle, right? So beer, right? So everybody thinks it's blood, and they think my wife is dead. And then I'm holding the ball up like I'm a champ.
It was actually on Web Gems. I think it made Web Gems later on.
And the crazy part was we were not married yet. So, like, we were, like, maybe, like, 3-4 months away from getting married. So, like, then the topic for the next 3-4 months was, like, if Jenny was just, like, Terry Schiavoed from this. Like, just a veggie, like, would Mike have still have married her? And I was like, this is messed up. I saved her life. Like, of course I would have still married her.
maybe.
Maybe.
Absolutely. And after all, it's a city of brotherly love.
It is.
I mean,
It is. So,
I mean, it's your wife, not your brother, but, you know,
Yeah.
look, you know, like if me and my brother, as much as we fight, I brought him to Philadelphia, maybe we won't fight next time. You know?
So with the brotherly love kind of scheme, we're trying to figure out who's the best sibling duo to ever do sports. So we're not going to tell you who we think it is. We want to know from our multipliers who they think it is. So a brother, a sister's duo that is the best in sports. Anybody have an idea?
In pro sports, who are we thinking?
Travis Kelce and Jason Kelce.
Right off the bat, we heard Williams sisters.
It's Serena and yeah.
Well, Tiki, we have a Tiki and Rondé. We got a Tampa Bay, New York
Okay.
love affair over here. We heard Gronkowski brothers, a future Hall of Famer.
One's
The
a
other ones are-
backup. And
See,
one's
you know,
a
see,
Hall
but
of
with
Famer.
football, it's kind of tough because depending on the position you play, like look at Tiki and Rondé, you know. A running back
I
and a
agree. It's
safety,
a tough
like,
until you
it's-
realize that
it's
there's a
tough to
Peyton
see,
Manning
like-
and an Eli Manning.
I mean, I think if
That's
you're looking at
obvious.
football, the
Right.
Manning. So the first we heard were the Williams sisters, and that 100%. I mean, a more dominant force in tennis.
I don't think because I wouldn't watch tennis just like Tiger. I wouldn't watch tennis if it wasn't for the Williams sisters.
Agreed.
So you know,
Agreed.
there's a
100%.
few that kind of like get everybody's attention, but as a sister sibling duo, like they definitely transcend their sport because there's no way anybody's watching or even knows women's tennis or any tennis for that matter.
Did we mention the Giambis? How about the Giambis? So we got Jeremy and Jason.
It's funny because like I feel like that's like Canseco, how we talked about his brother, his twin brother, like not doing well. Like at least like the Giambis like figured it out better with steroids.
Because they weren't
both twins,
They
though,
both
were
did well.
they?
No, they weren't
They
twins.
weren't
Okay.
twins. They were just regular
But like
brothers.
they were experimented on with
Yeah, one had
steroids.
steroids, the other one didn't.
Maybe that might be it. but I
No,
think-
they
I
both
think
were
they
on
both
steroids.
did,
I just
yeah.
think that one Giambi
Right.
took it a little bit further than the other, and the same thing with Canseco's. I mean, they just were getting it from a better supplier.
And then you can't forget the Leiter brothers.
Oh yeah, the Latter brothers too.
Ah.
Yeah, so there's three of them,
Mark, Al, and
and Steve.
So we heard Williams sisters, Manning brothers. I mean, what do you guys think of the Manning brothers?
Well, look,
It's
I
gotta
think
be
for
the
a
man.
while, Peyton was way on top when you want to compare the two of them, and then when Eli, had his two Super Bowl victories, and the first one being even more amazing than the second. I think that put him right up there as well,
Right.
and got him a little bit closer
Yeah.
with his brother as far as rankings go.
So if you went coaching wise, I'd go Jim and John Harbaugh. But
Yeah.
if you've ever watched our show, you would know that one of them is afraid of chicken, and chicken's freaking delicious.
It is. He said it was a nervous bird.
It is.
He's a nervous.
It
bird.
is a nervous bird because what they got, like, what are you, chicken? They got that
Yeah.
from that. And look, if you're in a coop all day
Right.
and you're next to other chickens, I'd be pretty nervous too.
I mean, there's no chicken on the Philly special. I think there's a reason for that.
Right.
Yeah.
You know what would go great with a nervous bird? Anything from R&R Produce. Like onions, saute them
Yeah,
up.
get a
you
little
know,
lettuce in
like
you.
Peppers.
That wouldn't make me nervous at all.
Whatever you want, just saute it up.
You need
baby.
something to break up that chicken.
Yeah, chicken.
Anyway, get that lettuce in you.
But yeah, so anybody who doesn't know, Harbaugh turned around and like he's got like this war on chicken. He feels it's a nervous bird. He feels like you should not have chicken because of the simple fact that it's nervous. And my argument is it's only nervous because we chop their heads off and try to eat them, right? So
you would be nervous too.
right. So I don't get it. So Jim Harbaugh, like we do not agree with you. You are not.
There's
the
a reason he's not
brotherly
an
love
NFL
winner.
coach anymore.
Yeah, that's it. So we had a lot of fun. Thank you guys for sticking around. This was pretty cool. This is our first live on location.
There will be others. You might have to
yeah.
travel to the next one, but there will be
Yeah,
others.
So we got one lined up in Boston. That's pretty far for anybody in Philly. But and then
You're not paying for your transportation. Let's just get that clear.
Yeah, to be clear,
We'll pay for your
this is not
shots, but not the
included.
transportation.
So we're gonna give out some stuff for the guys that are live. Josh, if you want to come up here, I want to talk to you too. If you want to grab a mic or whatever. But yeah, so we still got 5 more shots to give out. So
You gotta give us a shot!
you got to give us a shot. We're the Mike Time Steve show. So the one commitment I want is anybody who's still here and wants to talk, you could come up. Like, who cares? But Josh has been our street team guy. He's helped us thick and thin, even in situations where I'm like, Josh, don't talk about our show. He still talks about
He
our
just
show.
can't help himself.
Can I just say, throughout the whole live show, I thought he was a part of the wait staff. With
Right,
the
right,
amount that
right,
he's
right.
running around the restaurant more
Yeah.
than the wait staff was
Yeah.
back and forth selling everything. So
I have
he's been
not had
awesome
an
the
empty
entire
glass
time.
all night. It might be the reason why I talk too much during this last segment, and I'll get yelled at.
Yeah.
I cursed like 7 to 8 times, so I love you, Josh. But tell us about yourself, man.
Oh man, Little kid from Philadelphia who just wants to be part of the Mike and Steve team.
Oh,
and is just,
shut up.
happy to be part of the show.
I love you, but you say whatever. You're like, I'm just going to say whatever Mike thinks. That,
I really like my jobs. You know?
That sounds like a man who wants a
Shut
promotion right
up,
there.
Dude, yeah, right? You win. You're the champ. You're
He's just
the
a poor
champ
boy.
of the night. You talk to everybody. Anybody who's wearing a shirt that wasn't wearing the shirt before they came in is because of you. We love you. You're an amazing dude.
I love you too.
And I want your I want your prediction. Other than the Eagles, who's going to win the Super Bowl?
So if it's not the Eagles, then the NFL
It is
going to
be the Eagles, but it's okay.
Because I'm from Philly.
Right.
But if it's not the Eagles, I mean, honestly, the best bet's probably the Patriots if you're going to go AFC. Because
Okay.
it's hard to bet against probably the greatest quarterback ever, which hurts to say.
Even though Julian Edelman's suspended
He'll be
for-
fine
till
because
week 5,
Tom Brady plus
has another white quarterback receiver.
He has another
Yeah.
white receiver just waiting in the wings.
Right.
His name's Chris Hogan. I felt bad saying that. But Hogan's heroes can carry them for a while.
Well, they got Eric Decker too.
Well, yeah, they have Eric Decker. They
Yeah.
have him. They just cut Malcolm Mitchell. They cut Jordan. They cut Jordan Matthews. So
Right.
a little weak there, but he always makes up for it. He has a great receiving core when it comes to making cuts, when it comes to making catches, when it comes to defensive scheme. They have a great head coach. So the head coach translates to everything else, and they have a great offensive coordinator, Josh McDaniels. So
Right.
it's hard to root against them. If you were going to say anybody but the Patriots, I would honestly probably say the Packers. They look very happy to be playing right now. They look very happy to have Aaron
Right.
Rodgers back. Aaron
Well, I'd be
Rodgers
happy
knows
to
that
have
his
Aaron
window's
Rodgers.
closing. You get an injury like that to your shoulder, it can be bad.
So who's going to be the starting quarterback for the New York Jets?
For the New York Jets,
Yeah.
it should be Sam Darnold.
All right.
I don't really think there's contestation there. Like, he's the best player on the team. He has the best arm. He looks good. He just doesn't look very sharp. But that
Right.
comes with time, you know?
Well, Todd Bowles was like, so everybody was like, even the New York Post today was like, oh, we got a quarterback. Like, even my brother was all excited. Blah, 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 the Jets got a quarterback. I was like, chillax, bro. And Todd Bowles said it the best. Like, he was playing against the most basic defense in the NFL. Like, when he did his run last night.
Yeah.
So if it's not, for me, if it's not Teddy Bridgewater, there's some hashtag Bridgegate going on.
It should be Bridgewater. He deserves to start.
I
But
think so.
It's hard to not start the
Uh,
potential star.
No, McCown deserves to start over anybody because he did it
Okay.
last year.
Okay.
And the reason why Darnold is going to start is
Yo.
because of McCown. McCown
How-
is teaching. McCown's grooming him.
How
yeah.
many
McCown is
years
perfect.
is
He's a
it,
perfect
though,
person to be
where
ahead
the
of him.
Jets have, like, 3 potential quarterbacks and they all potentially suck?
Darnold's the
Every
truth.
year?
You watch.
All right.
Darnold's
All
the
right.
truth. You
That's
watch
cool.
it. Sam
It's-
Darnold.
It's hard to
Yeah.
be a Jets fan when the Giants are in your city. Because even when the Giants aren't great, they give you something to root for. They have explosive
guess,
players.
I guess, yeah,
I mean, it's
you're right.
hard to root against Eli if you're a Philly, if you're a
Yeah.
New York guy. If you're a Philly guy, you hate his face.
I think everybody hates his face.
Yeah, he's a mouth breather.
I don't know. When I see that Manning face, it usually means only good things are happening to the opposite team.
I mean, when you see the face now, I just think Saquon's butt.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure that's what he's thinking too.
Yeah, my brother was so happy when the Giants got Barkley. Like, it was unbelievable for him. So, who's the worst team in the NFL?
The worst team in the NFL.
The worst.
That's very hard. There's a lot of parity in the NFL. I would probably say, I mean, I would have said the Colts last year, but they have Andrew Luck back.
Right.
And prior to Fournette being a player, I would have probably said Jacksonville because I just didn't believe in Jalen Ramsey as much as he did himself.
Okay.
But he may be the best cornerback in the league now. The worst team is probably hard to pick. It's really going to end up being probably the Bills, honestly, because they just don't have a quarterback.
Jamal.
They have no one
Half
to
of
lead
24
them.
Media just as, like, half of
Sorry,
our
Jamal.
network just went down. Like, yeah, I hope you're
I mean,
happy.
I gotta say,
Yeah.
it's
Like,
the
there was-
Browns until proven otherwise.
There was the
No,
Dolphins.
stop it.
I would have went Dolphins.
Not the. Hold on. So hold on.
I would have went Dolphins.
Now we got Corey in this.
Oh,
now.
listen.
we pissed off 2 tables at once.
Listen.
There's
So,
like 5 tables left, and we pissed off 2 of them.
The Dolphins are ranked. What?
Claudia, you want to
They're-
talk? You
they're-
could talk. All right, let
So
Corey
the
talk.
Dolphins are ranked number 29, and I agree that's where they should be, but 29
Yeah, 'cause
is a
they
couple
suck.
steps up from 32.
Yeah, literally
Yeah,
three.
like three.
If Incognito comes back,
Agreed.
they'll be
I
up
would
there.
still put the Colts underneath the Dolphins.
here's
The Colts
the funny
with
thing.
luck, man. They're going to be
Like-
okay with luck.
No,
I
well,
really
Luck's
do.
good.
think.
Luck hasn't played in 2 years.
Tom Brady's
It don't
salty
matter.
as you know what right now because he's ranked third. Corey's defending the fact that the Dolphins should be 29th.
Listen, other
instead
than the
of 30.
Patriots, there in the AFC East, no other team is going to go above 500.
Right.
Which is great because look, listen, if you ever plan on going to a Dolphin versus Jets game, just stop by R&R Produce if you're in the Philadelphia area, get some tomatoes, bring a bag full with you, and throw them at both teams. It'll be perfect. It's a win-win.
But make sure you eat at least one of them because they are tasty.
They
Yeah,
are
I mean, they're
delicious.
delicious.
They're
You
like
can't waste
Jersey
them. You can't
tomatoes.
waste them.
They're
Before,
delicious.
I'm not even a tomato guy, but I heard that their tomatoes are the bee's knees.
Right.
All right. They really are.
So-
And look, and thanks again, everybody. It was a pleasure being here in Philadelphia.
It was awesome.
You know, we got it. We had great sandwiches today. I didn't even eat the whole thing because it was like a dinner buffet and a sandwich. It was everything. You know, you had pork roll in there, you had roast beef, you had cheese,
Right.
everything under the sun.
It was awesome.
So we are pretty much wrapping it up here. Check out our social media. Again, we're on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, iHeartRadio. What else? Google Play,
Spotify.
Spotify.
Go to the MikeXSteve.com.
We got a 2% follow in Sweden, which
We
I'm
do.
really proud of.
And we got a 1% following in the UK.
In the UK.
Yeah, so that means 2% of people who are in Sweden right now are watching this show, and you're all a part of it.
And they're all
We got
saying,
2% follow in
"What's
Sweden. Shout out to the Swedes. All right?
seriously.
And then the UK, we got 1%.
Yeah, and
And
we're still
then-
trying to find out where that last caller, or that unknown caller, where
We
she
don't
was
know.
from.
But honestly, like, if she needs some mental help, we put it on
We're
our
there
social
for
media
you.
sites. We're there for you. So
It's
I don't
like, you
have it
know,
on me.
Philly Banner, they're there for you too if you ever need to put up something.
They are. They're there for you.
They are. You know, if you need that on the spot design, you know, that sign put up
If
last minute.
you have a message that needs to be said, they will say it for
They
you.
will send that message, and they've done that for us, and we're forever grateful. So, thank you. This is the Mike Time Steve Show. We're signing off. We appreciate all of you. If you stick around, we got a couple shots to give out. You're wearing our shirt. You still want to drink? I'm gonna drink with you.
Roll credits.
Roll credits.